Alessandra, we ready? Good evening, everyone. I just want to make a quick announcement that President Salazar is running a few minutes late, so she'll be here with us directly. And I see her approaching right now, so let me go ahead and continue. So it is 5:05 PM, and I call this public meeting to order. I want to thank everyone who has joined us this evening. If you want to make a public comment on this items listed under closed session agenda, please listen carefully to the directions provided by the clerk at the opening of each item. Ms. Elizondo, if you will, please.
Public hearing for visitors who wish to address the board on closed session items. 15 minutes of this portion of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the board on closed session items. Speakers seeking to comment on other items are requested to make those comments during the public comment portion of the meeting at 6:30 p.m. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. The school board is prohibited by law from taking action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the school board does not respond to public comment at this time. If you wish to address the board on an item included in this section of the agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining us remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. We will allow speakers from the audience to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. Okay. President Salzer, we do have a member of the public who wishes to address the board at this time. Would you click on the little button on the bottom?
Perfect. Awesome. Hello, board, trustees. My name is Garrett Booth. I'm from Chowchilla, California. I come to you tonight not as a disgruntled employee or trying to ruffle any feathers. In no way, shape, or form do I mean to disrespect my colleagues or my admin. I come before you tonight as an upstander, just seeking clarity and asking for your assistance. I've had the pleasure of working at MTech, or Madera Technical Exploration Center, for the past 1.5 years as a Probe 1 and a Probe 2. I've loved every minute of my time there. I work with great admin. I have a great team in the public safety field, and we work well together growing as a PLC. I've enjoyed watching the students learn, and I have learned equally as much, if not more. Last week, I was surprised when I was told that I would not be returning to MTech. I've received positive feedback on formal and informal evaluations. I'm aware of what the Ed Code is, 44929.21 states. In fact, the comment on my final evaluation stated, would recommend for a traditional classroom. In my mind, this doesn't translate to I am not worthy of staying within the district, but rather I haven't perfected teaching in a PBL format. Who is able to perfect teaching in a 2-year span, any site? I'm challenging my non-reelect status due to the comment and/or reason that I would be better suited in a traditional classroom. The philosophy of MTech is a pivot from the traditional way students learn. It takes time for a traditional teacher and a traditional student to make that change. In order for students to be successful in a project-based learning environment, there is much scaffolding, mini lessons, and pre-teaching prior to the big group project in order for them to demonstrate proficiency. When I reflect on the amount of growth in myself and my skills from year 1 to year 2, I am satisfied, as was admin, as I was asked to return for the second year. Being an honest person, I would not be here tonight if I didn't truly believe in my abilities. According to the U.S. Department of Education, high rates of turnover can impede instructional improvements and teacher collaboration. Gwynn, 2004. Since MTech opened in the fall of 2020, we have had 3, going on 4, history teachers. It is a difficult subject to integrate, but it can be done. It takes time and staff continuity. Why begin at ground zero to form and meld together a new PLC? Wouldn't the staff and students benefit from the work of the team already in place? Together, we rise. With this said, I hope the board will reevaluate my non-reelection status.
Ms. Elizondo, is there any others?
President Salazar and Clerk Mendoza, there are no other members of the public who wish to address the board at this time.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Elizondo. See none or hearing none, I close this public hearing and adjourn to closed session to discuss items 1A through 1D. The board will convene the closure in the closed session, and President Salazar will take the gavel at that time. Okay?
Good evening. It is 6:54 p.m. and I call this regular meeting to order. Welcome to tonight's board meeting. I want to welcome the media and everyone in joining us in person and via Zoom. We ask those joining us this evening to please silence any electronic devices not linked to this meeting. If you would like to make a public comment, please listen carefully to the directions provided by the clerk at the opening of each public comment period. Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, staff, and members of the public, I'd like to remind us all of our vision and our mission. They're up there in the back, but we'll recite them for you. Our vision states that Madera Unified will set the standard for hard work, creativity, and resiliency with a fearless drive to continuously improve. And we have a really great example of that continuous improvement to share with everyone tonight. Our mission states that we are committed to creating and sustaining a culture enabling Madera Unified students to experience an unparalleled educational journey that is intellectually, socially, and personally transformative. And again, I think you will find the group of young ladies we introduce later on in the meeting do meet that mission exclusively. So that is the nature of our work this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Roll call. Ms. Elizondo, please call the roll.
Trustee Garza.
Here.
Trustee Llanos.
Here.
Trustee Ahmad.
Here.
Trustee Cortez.
Here.
Trustee Dybert.
Here.
Trustee Fleek.
Here.
Trustee Seibert.
Here.
Clerk Mendoza.
Here.
And President Salazar.
Here.
Thank you all here.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Trustee Seibert, would you please lead us in the flag salute? Thank you, Trustee Seibert. Tonight's scheduled invocation will be provided by Pastor Mike Sosa of Harvest Community Church of Madera. I invite Pastor Sosa to the podium.
Good evening, board members and staff and guests. Take a moment and quiet our hearts. Let's pray. God of light, God of love, God of life, you are indeed the giver of all good gifts. And we thank you today for all your blessings, the successes in our community, and even the challenges that bring growth. I thank you for this board of trustees and ask that you endow each one with wisdom, courage, and strength. Be with them in their deliberations to seek guidance from beyond their experience, to make decisions for the good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in their leadership. Give them insight to lead with integrity so that their decisions about the Madera Unified School District will reflect what is good, true, and beautiful. Help them to keep the big picture in view while remembering the needs of the individual in Madera County. Grant each member of this board with the humility of a servant's heart. I ask these things in your good and gracious name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Sosa. Closed session reportable actions. Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, in closed session, the board took action to approve resolution number 39-2023/24 and issue the notices of non-reelection/release to probationary and/or temporary certificated employees pursuant with Education Code Sections 44.929.21 and 44.954, effective at the end of the 2023-24 school year, and direct the superintendent or designee to send out appropriate legal notices. The roll call vote was as follows: 7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 0 absent. And also, by vote of 7-0, with 7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 0 absent, the board approved a settlement of a special ed dispute in the matter of student versus school district OAH case number 202-311-0126.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Adoption of the agenda. Mrs. Elizondo.
Action to add or delete items from any portion of the agenda or to discuss any consent agenda items must be taken prior to the adoption of the agenda.
Superintendent Lyle, does the staff have items to add or remove from the agenda?
We do, so follow along with me for those of you who are playing at home. President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the board, the staff would like to make 2 changes to the agenda, and both are in consent. The first one is for agenda item 11B8. Minor changes have been made to the language on the agenda cover and the service agreement. The new copies have been printed for you with the changes made there at the dais. The second request is for a correction to a contract under agenda item 11H3 that had a typo on the rate per hour section of the contract on page 333 in your packet. The $5 per hour for medical professionals should have been $50 per hour, which only makes perfect sense. Sorry for the inaccuracies.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Trustees, do you have any items to add or delete from the agenda? Trustee Dybert?
I don't, thank you.
Trustee Cortez?
No.
Trustee Ahmad?
No.
Trustee Fleek?
None, thank you.
Trustee Seibert?
No, thank you.
Clerk Mendoza?
No.
Trustees, do I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda with the modifications made? Please state your name when making the motion and second the motion.
Clerk Mendoza, I move to approve the agenda as adopted, as presented, with the modifications of 11.B.8 and 11.H.3.
Do I have a second?
Trustee Fleek, I'll second.
It has been moved by Clerk Mendoza and second by Trustee Fleek to adopt the agenda as presented. Ms. Elizondo, please pull the board.
Trustee Garza?
Yes.
Trustee Llanos?
Yes.
Trustee Ahmad?
Yes.
Trustee Cortez?
Yes.
Trustee Dybert?
Yes.
Trustee Fleek?
Yes.
Trustee Seibert?
Yes.
Clerk Mendoza?
Yes.
And President Salazar?
Yes.
President Salazar, I counted 9 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 0 absent. 2 of the 9 votes were preferential.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. On to communications, student and staff recognition. Recognition of Madera South High School POM team, Superintendent Lyle.
So President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the board, you can see that I am wearing proud purple because I am a proud former Stallion administrator. And there's a whole bunch of us in the room. Just real quick around the room, raise your hand if you spent some time working very diligently to help Madera South get just a little bit better. Raise your hand in the room. So notice there's a whole bunch of us who understand the exact level of pride and honor that this group of young ladies has brought to Madera Unified on behalf of the proud purple and black. I'd like to introduce our Director of Athletics, Mr. Marty Bitter, and I hope that the story really comes out about the excellence that these young ladies have undertaken and worked so hard to achieve. Mr. Bitter, if you would, please, sir. Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Press the button. There you are.
It didn't come with instructions up here.
Sorry about that.
Superintendent Lyle, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the Board of Trustees, thank you. And this is I'm kind of getting used to coming back to board meetings, which is good. This is a good reason. I do want to give you an update. You know, our girls and boys soccer teams from the Toros are in the state playoffs, and the girls took down Placer tonight. They are a 7 seed. They beat the 2 seed, so they are moving on. 1-0 victory, and the boys are currently playing.
Have not heard that yet.
Yeah, so that's some good news to start
Heard it
out
here
with.
first.
Now, even better news. We just had a Zoom today. Our next mule sport is flag football and cheer, and I couldn't help but think while I was on the Zoom. You know, we started out actually at Chavez Elementary, you know, on the outdoor kind of amput area is kind of where we started with our mules cheer. And that then moved into the East Gym at Madera South. And now we are getting close to overcapacity in the West Gym at Madera South. That's how many girls now are involved with cheer at the elementary level. So it's super exciting to see. And tonight, I'm going to turn it over to Andrea Devine, and she's going to turn it over to her coaches, because we're reaping the benefits of all those little girls and all the time that the coaches are putting in, as tonight we celebrate Madera Palm winning the Division III Central Section Championship. So without further ado, Andrea Devine.
Now, they've told me it's not supposed to hit the ground because that'd be like a.
Marty, why don't you act like Vanna White? There, you can be the show model. You can be there you go. You're the
You
spokesmodel.
got to turn it around.
There you go.
You got it backwards.
For the audience.
There we go.
There weren't
Good
instructions.
evening. Good evening. Good evening. Superintendent Lyle, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and trustees. I cannot thank you, and our student, yes, board representatives, who I might add is also a part of our POM team. DeValley. Yes. I cannot thank you enough for honoring our show POM team. And I want to make one little correction, and I hate doing this.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
They're not all girls.
you're right. As soon as I said it, I
Yes.
thought that.
And I will tell you, if you've ever seen Alberto perform, you zero in.
I have seen it.
Yes, and he does a
Yes.
great job. So clearly, they do a great job. But I just cannot thank you enough. This group, you know, you have teams that go through your programs. And this is a team that, from the start, they built trust with each other. They truly, truly believe in each other. And it showed all throughout the whole entire year. They would come to 6 a.m. practices. They would practice, am I wrong, on the tennis courts when they didn't have a gym. They would practice on the cement. I mean, there was always a will and a way for them to come together and make their craft better. And I call them their athletes. So because of the fact that the amount of time and effort and sweat and hard work that they put in is unmatched by anybody. And I applaud them. And I want to introduce my coaches right now. So my advisor / coach is Annalicia Sanchez. And then my other coach is Alexandra Sanchez. Come on up, yes. So this is probably one of the best, not only coaches that I know and have, but one of the best people. And she loves her kids and she works hard for her kids. And so now I'm going to
Proud Stallion class of.
Proud Stallion, 14.
Proud Stallion class of 2014.
So Annalicia.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. So I have a small little speech because I'm not good at improvising. Madam President, distinguished members of the board, and Superintendent Lyle, thank you for this recognition of the hard work and accomplishments of our POM team. It is a true honor to be here and to get to share this achievement with each and every one of you. I coach this team with Alex, who is also a DLI teacher at Madison. Together, we have been able to witness this team grow and accomplish their goals as a team. The success didn't happen by chance. Our students have shown incredible dedication since the beginning of summer at USA Camp, where they earned a superior recognition, and some of our members even earned the title of All-American Cheerleaders. They have spent countless amount of hours practicing, whether it was late nights or early mornings, to accommodate for everyone's schedule. They've invested time in technique classes, sacrificed weekends for choreography sessions, and have always pushed one another to excel. Each teammate has worked selflessly for the good of the others. This year, our accomplishments began at the USA Central Regional Competition, where we placed first and qualified for nationals. We placed second at the CIF Invitational, and our senior, Brianna Sanchez, was also the sole recipient of the CIF Dance Scholarship Award. Our team then competed at the CIF Championship, where we won the D3 Central Section Championship. We also earned first place at the Clovis Pep Classic, first place at the JAMS State Championship, and last but certainly not least, third place at USA Nationals. Only being, yeah. Yes. Only being 0.17 short of second place. Although that was something difficult to accept, as a team, we decided to look at all the positives of that. We went into nationals as the underdogs, having the lowest qualifying score of all teams in the division, and we walked away with third place. That 0.17 was not a reflection of what could have been. Instead, it was a testament to everything we were, a team of dedicated student athletes who have a fearless drive to succeed. Aside from their talent on the dance floor, these individuals focus on their academics and put it at the forefront of everything. Most of these athletes have earned between a 3.0 and 4.5 GPA, not only dedicating their time to school, but also leaders in our community. Some are multi-sport athletes, and others are also involved in ASB, Link Crew, FFA, AVID, Block S, Upward Bound, CSF, peer counseling, leadership, and one is a board trustee. Their commitment would not have been possible without the phenomenal support of our community. Parents, thank you for your unwavering encouragement and support. I know you have to wake up for those early morning practices as well, so we thank you for that. To our AD Divine, you have been the most supportive and inspiring AD. Sorry. Thank you for always listening and encouraging me and the team. To Miss Michelle from Galaxy Dance Studio for offering technique classes for free to our team, and to our sponsors and members of the community. You've believed in us, cheered us on, and have pushed us to what we are today. We're a spirit team used to being the one supporting others, and this year we were able to experience that same support from our community. From Tyler Takeda, putting us on the Madera Tribune, to George from Communications team highlighting us on the Madera Minutes and social media, the packed house that we had at our first ever national showcase / send-off, and our honorable recognition at this meeting. The community has embraced us wholeheartedly, and we thank you for that. When I think about our team, I'm reminded of the Madera Unified Vision to set the standard for hard work, creativity, and resilience with a fearless drive to continuously improve. These athletes have embodied this vision. They bring so much pride to our school and to the Madera community. Thank you once again for helping make this incredible season a reality.
So Annalisa, hold on just a second,
Yes.
just quick timeout. I want, there's some of us that have the stallion pride streak that will never go away. We understand where this started. When you were a cheerleader, when you were there, would your team have been section champions?
No,
No.
we didn't compete. We didn't even know that competing was a thing. We didn't know CIF.
And it started with, you had some really good coaches at the time who drove you to be better.
Yes.
And motivated you to improve, and you've taken all those lessons and now you're the coach.
Yes, now I've applied it. It's a full circle.
So the reason I wanted to just pause on that for just 1 minute is, I think the story that you embody is the story of our district. Like, we didn't all have great experiences coming through, in every program in Madera Unified. And there's some of us in the room that played sports together back in just the Coyote days when there's only one school. We didn't have necessarily the level of expectations and support that this community today provides, or the district provides. But we came through, and here we are bringing those lessons forward. You're doing that in your generation. And you went from a team that loved what you did and had a lot of respect on campus to a team who has respect all over the valley and the state 10 years later, right? Like, that's a journey.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real journey, and it's one we ought not, look past. It takes place only because people push themselves and decide that they're going to be a team that cares. Right? It's that takes inspiration, takes motivation, takes coaching, takes leadership, and it takes student leadership too. And you have those kids right in our
Yes.
midst at this moment.
Absolutely.
Right? So this has been a real long journey to get to this point. Sent 5 teams down to compete at nationals. One team walked away with some hardware.
Mhm.
That's impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're very proud of you all. Very.
Thank you.
We'll be happy to shake hands, and if they want to line up here, you can let the audience know. All of our viewers out there on Zoom land should hear their names.
Okay. So we have Mia Chidas, Alberto Solano, Priscilla Rangel, Paris Hernandez, Grace Cortez Mendez, Brianna Sanchez, Jocelyn Castro,
Congratulations.
Ayana Uribe, Anaí Sanchez, Genevieve Medina, and Zaveli Llanos.
Okay, so then come back around here, and then we'll take a picture. Congratulations. You have only barely been here, right? You guys make us more famous just to take pictures with you.
Look at that big one, giant trophy.
Ms. Devine, you probably should be in here.
Yes. You thank the parents too, because this doesn't happen without you as well.
It does not happen. Spirit fingers.
I just want to get one so I got to post it on my Instagram.
Yes, you do.
They know about pictures. Hold on. Okay. And a song, of course. It'll be all we do is win, 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 no matter what. Okay, thanks, guys.
Hey, we may or may not have one of the members of the executive cabinet who's the national champion cheerleader, by the way. You have to figure out who it is. One hint, it's not Sandon. First national champion in Madera history, right over there. Congratulations. Thank you, Stallions. I don't know.
Andrea, how many of those girls trained at Intel?
And did you go here?
How many trained at Tech? How many trained at Tech?
Madera Tech.
Remember Tammy's gym?
At Tammy's gym?
Yeah.
Well, they've all participated because she would
Yeah.
let the cheer team come in and she would work with them.
Right.
So yeah, they basically all have at some point.
Basically, I'll have, yeah. Thank you, Ms. Devine.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Coach.
Mr. Bitter. Okay, moving on to item number 682, the Madera minutes.
So
Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Kirk Mendoza, members of the board, I want to invite you all, and especially all those people out in Zoom land, to see the highlights of some outstanding activities that have happened all across the district these last few weeks.
Madera Minutes kicks off with impressive team achievements by student athletes representing Torres High School. On Friday, February 23rd, the Torres High School girls soccer team won the program's first ever Central Section Championship by defeating Orchard Academy 3-0. Congratulations to the team and coaches who went undefeated throughout the season and playoffs. The team now advances to the state championship tournament. Torres High School boys soccer team also won the Division V CIF Central Section Championship on Saturday, February 24th. The final score was 1-0 with the goal coming the way of a header by senior midfielder Jesse Gonzalez. Congratulations to the talented team and coaches. The team now also heads to the state championship tournament this week. During halftime of the boys soccer CIF championship game, the Torres High School varsity boys cross-country team and coaches received their championship rings for winning the CIF Central Section Division III championship. Madera Unified and the community is proud of their accomplishment. Millview Elementary honored Black History Month with a special celebration on February 23rd. Students, staff, and a guest speaker had a chance to share stories, poetry, and music, making a truly memorable event. Thank you to everyone who joined Millview staff and students for a day of celebration and honoring Black history. Congratulations to the Madera South High School Show Pom team who took third place at the USA Nationals in Anaheim on February 17th. Madera Unified and the community is proud of you all and the coaches for representing Madera Unified on the national stage. On February 16th and 17th, Madera Unified hosted the 2024 High School CIF Central Section Championships for boys and girls wrestling at the Selland Arena in Fresno. Over 93 high schools competed in the event, which also served as a qualifier for the state championships. These MUSD students qualified for the state championships: Cameron Silber and Isaiah Baez of Madera High School, and Angelo Adame, Pablo Adame, and Aiden Salas of Torres High School. Congratulations to all the MUSD student athletes who competed. Melton Vista High School celebrated National Pancake Day on February 23rd by preparing and distributing pancakes, milk, and orange juice to parents during morning drop-offs. Additionally, students were also treated to breakfast as well. School site leadership used this opportunity to connect with their school community. The State Center Adult Ed Conundrum featured adult school alum Alexis Richardson as part of an ongoing segment on their website called SCAEC Student Success Stories, Learning Never Stops. Mrs. Richardson, now enrolled in college, was selected for her perseverance and achieving her goals of furthering her education and career. She mentioned being grateful for the Madera Adult School team that helped her and pointed her in the right direction.
Thank you. Item 6B, public hearing for visitors who wish to speak on a subject not on our board agenda. Ms. Elizondo?
15 minutes of this portion of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to address the board on items not listed on the board agenda and within the jurisdiction of the school board. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. If the subject is an item on the agenda, the board president has the option of asking the speaker to hold a comment until that item is called. Comments on items listed as a public hearing on the agenda should be held until the hearing is opened. The school board is prohibited by law from taking action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the school board does not respond to public comment at this time. If you wish to address the board on an item not on the board agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Farrah Williams. I have an SEC Student Diversity Club member with me today to talk about Black History Month.
Can you please state your, are you going to state your address of live here in Madera?
I'm sorry?
The address of where you live here in Madera.
Oh, city and residency?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 212 Aria Avenue. Is that what you're saying? Oh, sorry. A little nervous here. Madera, California. Okay. Hello.
Yep. There you go.
My name is Jade Larson. I attend I attend Thomas Jefferson Middle School, and I had ended up transferring to TJ because of some racial issues I had at Desmond, and I have had a better experience, a really good experience actually, especially during this month, Black History Month. I had attended a Fresno State trip for Blacks History Month on Saturday, and that was a really good experience as well. On Friday, to Clovis for a middle school conference, and it was really fun. I had learned a lot about things that I didn't know, and it was really eye-opening, and I appreciated all the events that I had gotten offered this year, and I hope that there's more next year, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we wanted to thank the board, and we wanted to thank Superintendent Lyle. We also wanted to thank the school and culture team, Ms. Durian, thank you so much. And we also wanted to thank the principal, Mr. Catlin, for the opportunities that we had this year.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Seeing or hearing no one else, I close the public hearing. Item number 7, Student Board Representative Report. Melanie Miranda of Torres High School and Laura Mendoza Soria of Madera High School. I invite Melanie Miranda to present the Torres High School Student Board Representative Report.
Good evening, Madera Unified School District Board President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the board. I'm Melanie Miranda, here with the Toro report. Sorry. In late January, we hosted our annual 8th grade parent night and Toro preview. Future Toro students and parents had the opportunity to come to campus to check out our amazing facilities and learn about all the great things that Torres High School has to offer. Next slide, please. February brought our 2024 Winter Spirit Week, rally, and formal. This year's theme was Love Tony, a love letter from our mascot to our campus. This week included dress-up days such as Relationship Status Day and Anti-Valentine's Day, daily activities, and our winter sports rally. In honor of Valentine's Day, we even made personalized Valentine's cards for every student on campus to show our appreciation. To close out the week, we hosted our 2024 Winter Formal, which featured an appearance by Tony the Toro and his new love interest, Tony the Cow. Next slide, please. The next week, we hosted our annual Tony's Wishes program, where students get to wish for items, big or small, that our ASB works to grant throughout the week. This year's wishes included things such as shout-outs for hardworking teachers and coaches, gifts for appreciation for hardworking parents, and even Toro gear and yearbooks for students that could not afford them. The week culminated in our annual birthday celebration for our mascot. Next slide, please. We enjoy having the opportunity to celebrate different cultures and backgrounds at Torres High. In honor of Black History Month, we welcome Fresno's American Drum Interactive for a lunchtime performance and dance lesson. Throughout the month, our teaching staff has incorporated lessons on influential African Americans in each of their respective content areas. We also decorated campus with inspirational quotes from influential African American leaders. And this Thursday, we will host our first annual Madera Unified BSU Cookout, where we will welcome students from all 3 comprehensive high schools to campus for games, food, and fellowship. Next slide, please. The FCCLA Spring Regional Leadership Meeting and Competition was definitely one to remember. From our Toro FCCLA members, Valerie Daza and Lilia Gonzalez competed in culinary arts, where Valeria took 1st place and Lilia took 5th. In the education pathway, Aubrey Mendez competed in Child Development Level 3 and placed 2nd, and Ivan Lara competed in Child Development Level 2 and placed 2nd. To top the day off, sophomore Joel Jimenez will serve as Region Vice President for the 24-25 school year. Next slide, please. Our Torres mock trial program is definitely well on its way to making a name for itself. We took 3rd overall in our most recent competition, with a number of Toro students winning awards and recognitions. Isha Herrera won Outstanding Pretrial Defense Attorney, Honorable Mention Prosecution Attorney, and the Coaches Award. Natalie Valdovinos won Outstanding Pretrial Prosecution Attorney, Angelique Perales won Outstanding Bailiff, and Elia V. Castillo won Outstanding Defendant. We also received a number of honorable mentions. Sebastian Infante became a state finalist for journalism and will travel to LA to represent Madera County in the state mock trial competition. Next slide, please. Torres FBLA traveled to the FBLA Central Section Leadership Conference at Redwood High School and had 11 students placed in the top 10 in 9 different events. We even had a number of state qualifiers. Next slide, please. Torres Academic Decathlon had a great season with 3 students being awarded medals for scoring amongst the top performers in their respective subjects. Brian Pichardo received the silver medal in the science category. Diana Ortiz received the silver medal in economics category. And sophomore Maribel Ortiz received the gold medal and a $100 scholarship in the history category. Elizabeth Leon won this year's Academic Decathlon art contest, making her the 2nd consecutive winner for the Torres High School. Her artwork will be featured on Academic Decathlon and Pentathlon materials throughout the year. Next slide, please. Our Skills USA students managed to sweep Region 5 and will go on to state finals April 4th through the 7th in Ontario. Maria Cuevas took gold, Giovanni Manzo took silver, and Jose Mendez took bronze. Next slide, please. Our RAPA programs have seen great success this winter. Torres Theater Company traveled to the Linnea Theater's Arts Festival, where Eduardo Ruiz was awarded a bronze medal in costume design. Our visual arts students participated in MUSD's first annual art jam, receiving a score of distinguished. And Torres Concert Band, Winter Percussion, and Winter Guard all took first place in their most recent competition. Next slide, please. Our 23-24 winter sports season has definitely been one for the books. Varsity Boys Wrestling won their 2nd consecutive Valley Championship, and both girls and boys soccer secured division champs. This year's girls soccer had a 7-0 season, bringing them their first North Yosemite League championship. It is always a great day to be a Toro. Next slide, please. Our final athletic facilities are taking shape and will soon be opening. Our baseball and softball fields are in the final stages of construction, and Toro Stadium is well on its way to completion. We can't wait to begin hosting competitions and events in our new spaces. Next slide, please. Here are upcoming events. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Miranda. I invite Laura Mendoza, Sawyer, to present the Madera High School Student Board Representative Report.
Good evening, Champ.
Good evening. Good evening, Board President Salazar, Superintendent Lyle, Clerk Mendoza, and all board members and community members. I hope you are all doing well today. I'd like to start off with our athletics slide first. Our wrestling team competed in the CFI Central Section Championships. 2 of our amazing athletes qualified for the state championships. Congratulations to Cameron Silver and Isaiah Bees. The Madera High School track and field team came out victorious on their first invitational this past Saturday at the Central Valley Relays in Duba, California. The varsity girls finished first in the several points scored in a team effort to finish on top. The boys finished third, but also ran a time of 43.89, which is currently top 20 in the section. Good job, Madera High track team and field. Next slide, please. The cheer and dance team traveled to Anaheim to compete in the U.S. Spirit Nationals. Good job, ladies, on representing Madera. Next slide, please. Our future club, the Mexican American, has been active on and off campus, from college trips to Los Angeles to spreading love on campus with their annual Valentine's Road Sale. Next slide, please. Over the past 2 weeks, Madera High mock trial team has competed in the Madera County competitions. The team drew many praises from judges and attorneys alike. Madera High School received awards such as Outstanding Prosecution Witness, Honorable Mention Defense Attorney, Honorable Mention of Prosecution Attorney. Next slide, please. Madera High School ASB leadership was happy to have worked with the Parasite Educational on a new app-like feature. The web browser has allowed us to create questions to obtain real-time feedback using our devices. The initial pilot was done with our class, then at our monthly House of Reps. We're looking forward to our school-wide rollout this week. Next slide, please. At Madera High School, we celebrate Black History Month with a Wednesday school-wide a door decorating contest, and with our BSU members attending an African drumming performance at Madera South High School. We're looking forward to a district BSU mixer this week to end the month on a high note. Next slide, please. Our winter percussion and color guard team are in the middle of the competition season. They're working extremely hard towards the upcoming championships. Next slide, please. This past weekend, our FCCLA team competed in several events in Central East. Our teams did an outstanding job qualifying for state. Congratulations to our teams, which took first place in bread, culinary display, repurpose and redesign, event management, and second place to the public policy advocates, and fourth in culinary cake display. Congratulations to Lydia Vasquez and Samantha Roche for being elected to serve as regional officers next year. These are some upcoming events that we have. Next slide, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Mendoza Soria. Student Board Member Information and Report. Trustee Garza, I invite you to share your report with the board.
Sorry about that. Good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, trustees, Superintendent Lyle, and distinguished guests. Students at Furman High raised money for prom by selling nachos and tacos. They have also just finished filming a video about the school and have started editing it. Furman students have a field trip to Alcatraz planned and have started preparations for the previously mentioned prom. Students also mentioned getting more sports equipment in the last student voice meeting, and we are currently working on putting out a poll for the students to see which specific equipment they would like to have. Moving forward, students at Mountain Vista celebrated the Super Bowl by having a raffle and gifting the winners a full-size pizza for lunch. In honor of National Pancake Day, staff at Mountain Vista served students and parents pancakes before school started. They are planning to have more events like these in the future. As for concerns, students mentioned in our previous board meeting that they only have one set of bathrooms on their campus, and because of this, it often gets crowded. Students at Ripperton went to Monterey and San Francisco. They've also visited different colleges and hosted many fun Fridays during which they play games. As for future events, they plan to go on more field trips and participate in sports tournaments. They have no issues/concerns to report. That concludes my report. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Trustee Garza. Trustee Llanos, I invite you to share your report with the board.
Good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, trustees, Superintendent Lyle, and distinguished guests. I hope you're all doing well this evening. I would like to report that students are doing great this semester and have given positive feedback regarding our first ever MUSD District Mixer Dance that will be hosted at our school. It will be on March 15th. Various students have voiced that they like events such as the Mixer, as it allows for them to be able to connect with students from the 3 comprehensive high schools, Madera High, Madera South, and Torres. Students have also expressed that they would like to have more places to sit outside during break and lunch. I think it would be a great idea to have students paint benches to put around campus with positive designs or quotes that will inspire the students. I plan to talk to our activities director and see if we can make this possible for students to be able to enjoy. I would also like to add that I plan to have my next student voice meeting soon. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Llanos. Now moving on to item number 9, information and reports. We're going to jump down to We're going to skip 9A1 for now, and we're going to go down to item 9B, Student and Family Support Services. Superintendent Lyle?
So President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the board, I'd like to invite our Family Support Specialist, Rosa Galindo, and the Student and Family Support Services Division to present this item to the board. Hi, Ms. Galindo, you are on. That red light, it glows for you.
Oh man, I wasn't that ready. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Rosa Galindo, and I am the program manager for the Children, Youth, and Transition
Turn on the
Program.
mic. Is it on? Okay.
Turn it on?
You're good.
Oh, I'm good.
Just hard, it was hard to see from our angle.
Oh, okay. Good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, trustee members, Superintendent Lyle, and our community out in Zoom land. My name is Rosa Galindo. I am the program manager for the Children and Youth in Transition Program. I am going to be giving a very brief overview of our program and highlight a couple of our partnerships that we have in the community, showcasing what we've been doing with the students in our program.
So you take a deep breath and we'll all try not to need Kleenex. If you need Kleenex, you can come right here. I have some for you and me.
I will have some
Okay.
for the end.
All
I will
right.
need one.
We know your heart's in it. That's why I say that. We're with you.
I was expecting my director Crafton up here with me, and
Oh, no, she's providing you support from a distance.
oh, hi. As I mentioned, we're going to be highlighting a few of our partnerships and activities that we have done over the past 2.5 years. My team is here today. I should mention it. They're up on the PowerPoint presentation, but we have Isabel Gomez, who's our office assistant, Angelina Rodriguez, one of our student advocates. Ms. Dana Gutierrez is not able to be here with us tonight, but Sandra Serna, our consultant, who is a retired MUSD counselor, who works specifically with our, bless you, with our seniors. They're all here supporting me as well. Hi. Next slide, please. We have a lot, we are very invested in the community with our Children and Youth in Transition program. We have a lot of community partnerships. We participate in various organizations and have multiple, let me start over again. We are part of the multiple community partnerships of various capacities with all of these agencies listed. Most notably has been our active participation in the Madera County Homeless Strategic Plan Committee. There are 5 subcommittees that we also participate in, and all of this is to help end homelessness in our county. It's a big effort and it's a big uplift that's spearheaded by Department of Social Services, and we are at the table with them. Next slide, please. Since opening our doors to our office that doubles as a food pantry and clothing closet, we've had over 800 families stop by. Some of the items our families come in for are school supplies, clothing, and food. As you may recall, we received 2 grants to help support the food pantry. However, we still work closely with our local Madera County Food Bank. Those are some pictures of our clothing closet. All of the clothes is donation-based, so it's open to all of our Madera Unified families. And our food that we have been providing to our families, we geared more towards our families in the hotels. So it's a little bit not as healthy as we wish it to be, but it's a meal for our families.
Non-perishable mostly.
Yes. Right. Next slide, please. Some of the services that we have been providing to our students, we have had over 900 birthday recognitions for those that do celebrate. We've had more than 1,400 students participate in peer-to-peer groups. We continue our one-on-one tutoring with Valdez Educational Services. We've provided 55 seniors with cap and gowns, grad night tickets, and yearbooks to make their senior year a more memorable experience. This is through funding efforts from our fundraisers, since we cannot gift of public funds. Assistance with financial aid and college applications have also been provided by Ms. Sandra Serna with all of our seniors. We've had over almost 300 students have been provided transportation to their school of origin. 25 field trips have been organized to colleges, museums, zoos, and other locations with over 700 students attending. We have multiple fundraising events throughout the school year. Our biggest ones are our paint nights, so look out for our flyer for our next one. Next slide, please. In partnership with Madera County Superintendent of Schools, we hosted our annual RISE Youth Conference yesterday at Madera High School. 68 of our students from grades 7 through 12 attended the conference on a non-school day. That's pretty good considering they gave up their Monday and came out to participate in this College and Career Awareness Conference. We had a keynote speaker who is Mr. Jose Garcia, who's a Living Earth teacher at Torres High School. The students were able to choose from different breakout sessions. We had 16 resource tables during lunch, varying from colleges, local organizations, and law enforcement, talking to the students on different careers. Breakfast, lunch, and transportation was also provided to our students, should they need it. All students received a t-shirt, a conference bag, and a pair of tennis shoes, because as you recall, we have a partnership with Souls for Souls, who donated 500 pairs of tennis shoes to the program. The Madera Unified School District's communications team was present to capture the event, so they will be hopefully reeling us in on a Madera Minutes for the next time and showcase photos instead of our program. But it's a really good conference for our students because it gives them that professional development experience of going to a conference. We give them, like I mentioned, the t-shirts and the little incentive bags to attend. Next slide, please. Another great partnership that we have is with the San Joaquin River the San Joaquin River Parkway Conservation Trust. Our high school students have participated in the Youth Parkway Ambassadors Program for the past year and a half. We are starting our 4th cohort this semester with Madera High School. The students are committed to 60 hours over 3 months, which they give up their Saturdays to participate in leadership building skills, exposure to the outdoors along the San Joaquin River, and a culminating open house event. At those events, we take students in elementary and middle school where the high school YPA leaders are leading the skills, are leading the activities, including kayaking and canoeing when the river is not flowing very fast. Those students that finish the YPA program then are invited to participate in the Vistas program that's only for the high school students as well. It includes 2 overnight field trips and more learning along the San Joaquin River for like environmental sciences. During the summer, our students are afforded the opportunity to participate in the river camps. These are week-long river camps that our students are able to attend free of charge. We've participated in both 6th grade through 8th grade, which is the River Camp Rangers and the River Camp Voyagers. Transportation, meals, and everything is provided to our students at no cost to them. Next slide, please. And last but not least, we've had our biggest field trip to date in partnership with the Director of Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, Ms. Suzanne Dudney. We took 30 of our 5th and 6th grade students to the Disney Imagination Campus workshop. The students participated in a 3-hour interactive workshop at Disney California Adventures, where they learned the mechanics and physics of the roller coasters. The students had to complete some work prior to their attendance. We hosted 3 mandatory parent-student meetings. Students had to write a 2-paragraph essay, and their attendance, behavior, and grades had to be maintained or progress, but in a positive trend. Transportation was provided by Madera County Superintendent of Schools. The tickets to the program and our meals were provided by the ELOP program. Valdez Educational Services gave a very generous donation in which our students were able to receive a $50 Disney card so they can purchase a souvenir at the end of the trip. And our fundraising efforts also helped with funding of that store card. And there was a debrief interview that the students had to complete, and Parsec compiled a reel for us. So if you can play it.
Oh, that's not what we want.
Oh, no.
I actually saw it.
Oh, yay.
I saw it and it was really good because I get access to the dashboard.
Oh, okay. Well, the interview, we were asking the students their experience, how they liked with their hands-on learning, what did they experience, what did they learn during their field trip to the Disney Imagination campus. A lot of them expressed that of course, they enjoyed it. I mean, it was Disneyland that they got to go to afterwards, but they had a great time learning. They liked the learning by being hands-on. The whole time that we were there during the workshop, they were walking around with pens and notebooks and taking notes and listening to the Imagineers, explaining to them the different mechanics of the roller coasters. And then at the end, or during the whole process, we got to ride them. Yay. But they also got to design their own roller coaster, and they incorporated the theme, the different types of launching pads that they can have in the roller coasters. And they concluded going back into one of the rooms, there's Imagination Studio rooms, and they got to play with, I don't want to say their toys, but they got to play with instruments where they got to build their own roller coaster. And they had to make sure that the marble did 3 loop-de-loops. Such technical vocabulary here. And then they completed. So it was a little bit of a competition between the groups, but I think they had a great time. We also gave all of the students a t-shirt that said Disneyland, and we did have students here, but we thought we were going to go after Assistant Superintendent Cheryl Sissel's presentation, so they left, unfortunately, but it's okay. They have they're little, so they needed to go home. But they were here, and they had their sweaters or their hoodies, because we give that to them as well. Next slide. Oh, and we did have 8 staff chaperones, including Ms. Dudney. She attended the field trip as well. Yeah, it was a very long day, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. I just want to thank the Board of Trustees, the Superintendent Lyle, Assistant Superintendent Prince Marshall for supporting our program, and a special thanks to our Director, Allison Crafton, for allowing us to think outside of the box, dream big, and finding ways to support not only some of our most vulnerable students, but also their families. Without this team, we would not have been able to make any of these activities possible. And this is just a very brief overview of everything that is done to support our students in transition. If you guys have any questions, I'm glad to answer any, and if not, you guys can, direct any questions to Ms. Crafton or to myself. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Oh, yes, if you haven't, please come visit the space. We're right next to Compa Frank's. I see.
What are the hours of the space?
Someone is there from 7:30 to, we're there from 7:30 to 5, but we advertise to our families 8 to 4:30. Because we'll get the 5 o'clockers, and then they just want to peruse and go shopping in our closet. So, and if you guys are doing any spring cleaning, feel free to drop off your donations. We will gladly accept them. Yeah.
What is the address?
1816 Howard Road for the office space.
To drop off stuff?
Yeah, 1816 Howard Road, Suite 4, but where Compa Frank's is, we are literally next door. We share a wall with them. We get to listen to their music all day.
It does smell good.
Yes. Oh, okay, 1816 Howard Road.
What type of donations do you accept? Just specifically the sizes, or just clothes and shoes? Or?
Clothing in general, any sizes 0 to 100 plus, because we also offer it to our families and to the parents. They also come in with non-school age students, whether they're 0 to 5 or 18 plus, and because it is donation based, we open it to the families. And when we do receive toddler size clothing, and we've had it for like a month or 2, then I always reach out to the CalSafe program and offer it to them. We also partner with the Evening Lions Club, and they go around the schools collecting the lost and found, and they launder them, and then they drop off all of the jackets for us. And we have another partnership with the Adult Transitioning Program, where when we do receive some clothing that hasn't been laundered, their students come, they pick up a load, they're learning a life skill, and then they bring back laundered clothing that's nicely sorted and folded for us. So yeah. Yes.
Did you have any other questions for Mrs. Galindo? Oh, sorry.
Pots and pans, things like that. Okay.
Anything we cannot use, the team makes sure that it goes to an organization or a community member who needs it. And so we'll take it, we'll sort it and make sure it's
Trustee Garza.
How can I contact you or the program if like I have questions?
You can email me, Rosa Galindo, and then at maderausd.org, or we do have a group email. It's _children-in-transition, but don't forget the underscore.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Ms. Galindo.
Thank you.
I know you were nervous yesterday, but you spoke very well.
Oh.
Thank you.
So, Rosa, before you go, like, I want to make sure that we call out something really important here. And like, you're pretty humble about all this, but you're a big reason why, leadership wise, right? The engine for all of this is actually your heart, and it beats pretty fast because this really matters to you, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm going to out you a little bit, and I'm going to share with everybody that's listening that you shared with me that this was probably the thing that you had dreamed about the most over the years,
Yes.
and that you got to do it.
Yes. Yes.
And you got to see the difference it made. Like, you've been wanting to do this for what, like 10 years?
Since I was at Madera South and you were principal there.
So like 10 years, because we're getting up there in age now, right? Like, not you, I guess, but me. But one of the things that I think is really important that maybe passed by everybody is most everybody has heard that there is such a thing as a Disney Imagineer, but almost nobody's met them. But you and your kids did.
Yes.
They're a very like rare breed of intellect, and you guys got to meet them. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty cool, like at a level that is really hard to describe. Like, that's like meeting somebody from NASA,
Oh, wow.
right? In the entertainment world, that's like meeting somebody from NASA. Like, it's no small thing. So I wanted to just call out the fact that I recognize what you've done. I think we all do, and it matters, because a lot of times kids think that their community doesn't care. It's pretty hard to imagine that's the case when they're working with your team.
We know our families pretty well, and they're very excited when the parent scores go out, when the ladies are out at the school sites recruiting for events. And I know I'm going a little bit over, but I just want to point this out too and highlight that a lot of our newcomer students, yesterday they attended the youth conference, and they had attended the previous year as well, which prompted us to have an interpreter present. But they're also really excited for these opportunities. When Angelina and Dana went to Thomas Jefferson to invite them to a field trip recently, they were really excited. They're like, yes! And like, what happened? Like, we are finally being invited to one of these trips where you guys go places, and they're all Spanish speaking, and they're just hungry to learn and to explore and see all these new places that we have to offer. So that's exciting. So I do have to report back to Director Ochoa so we can partner. Yes. Oh, no, we can pick up. We can coordinate. Yes. Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Commissioner. And now, before we go to the next one, item number 9B2, Madera Unified School District Black History Month events presentation. Black History Month presentation.
President Salazar Kirk Mendoza, you know Karen Durian, she needs very little introduction, and this is a very obviously important topic, not just this time of year, but all year. So, Ms. Durian?
Thank you. Good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, Trustees, Superintendent Lyle. You can see that I'm not alone tonight. I have some of our students with us who've experienced many of the events, not just this month, but all year, who have a thank you for you at the end. But I'd like to share with you, before we turn it over to the students, just some highlights of what has happened this year for our Black student unions, diversity clubs, and African American students. So next slide, please. So we decided to frame our work this year really leaning into what the students told us about experiencing activities, events, learning opportunities all throughout their year to really provide that excellent, unparalleled educational journey, not just in the month of February, but through the entire year. So next slide, please. So you can see for the second year in a row, we have fully functioning BSUs or diversity clubs at all of our middle schools and high schools. And this year, our advisors work tirelessly to align activities between the middle schools, either horizontally or between their middle school and feeder high school. Next slide, please. One of the things we've been able to provide our advisors is a membership to the California BSU, which is a state organization that provides resources to each of the club. There's instructional resources, activities that help the club determine, different things they might want to do. But most importantly, for our high school club, there's a repository of scholarships for students of color in there that our high school advisors share out, all year long. Next slide, please. So we kicked off the year in October with the clubs taking our 3 comprehensive high schools to UC Merced. This was really the brainchild of Assistant Superintendent Marshall. We brought kids together to just see what was on the campus at our nearby UC, talk about the resources, the activities that they have there. But really the big highlight of the day was the student panel with African American students who called out that the scholarship opportunity far outweighed any of the UCs or CSUs that most of those kids applied to. So it was really exciting to see that in our own backyard there was opportunity for our kids to attend a UC almost, with tuition paid for. Next slide, please. Another brainchild from Assistant Superintendent Marshall was hosting our district's first ever BSU conference at our local Madera Community College. We kicked that off in early November and all of our middle school and high school clubs attended. They had keynote with Dr. Chike Akua, who gave them quite information on cultural heritage and development, and then breakout sessions were centered around social emotional wellness, financial literacy, and weird science. We had almost 200 of Madera Unified kids attend the conference at Merced campus this early November. Next slide, please. The Ruby Bridges Walk to School was an event that started last year with Madera South High School and Alpha. They partnered to commemorate this date, and we were able to expand it this year. We had 8 clubs joined together. Middle school, high schools joined, 4 clubs joined with 4 elementary feeder schools, and they commemorated the Ruby Bridges Walk. And then the students actually read stories to the children at the elementary school about Ruby Bridges, and they gifted each of the classroom picture books about the event. Next slide, please. One slide I didn't put up here was a Christmas event that the MLK team partnered with Rose, and they did a toy drive that provided quite a number of gifts to the students at Rose Elementary School. Moving on to February, you can see that we kicked off the month with the leadership conference for the high school kids. This is put on by Fresno County Superintendent of Schools. We had 5 of our seniors honored at that event as seniors of distinction. Amani Jones from Madera High, Aliyah Hall and Kanaya Johnson Hatcher from Madera South, Ethan Viana and Lawrence Watson from Torres High School were all recognized as seniors of distinction at the high school event. And then last Friday, our middle schoolers, along with their partners at Desmond and MLK, attended the Clovis Unified Middle School Leadership Conference, and we had about 80 middle school kids attend that event. Next slide, please. All right, here are the things that went on. These are just the highlight summaries that each of the schools provided us of what went on their campuses this month. You can see there were lots of events, recognition, drum ceremonies, but really the highlight was the instructional piece. Many of the schools had either school-wide lessons or content areas that developed specific lessons. We had poetry going on, we had public safety, had different events happening in their classrooms, and I think the instructional piece is what really highlighted this month and made it different than years past. Next slide, please. Here's some pictures of our kids. Next slide. And it doesn't end, right? Tomorrow's the end of February, and that's not the end of the year. So we have an event this Friday where our sites are commemorating Zero Discrimination Day. We have different things going on. All kids are getting a sticker to recognize the event, to really stamp out discriminatory practices. And then we have some partnerships happening this week. MLK and Rose and Madera South and Alpha are partnering to read multicultural books to the little students, the little kids at their feeder campuses. Next slide, please. So later on in March, our high school men, Latinx and African American men have an opportunity to attend the Men of Color Summit put on by the State Center Community Colleges at the Fresno City College campus. We have about 120 spots for our students to go. Next slide. And then we'll end up the year with the 31st Annual African American High School Recognition Conference put on by a local sorority that recognizes graduating African Americans across the Central Valley. And this is probably our 5th or 6th year that our district has participated sending kids to this event. And
It's at the Save Mart Center.
At the Save Mart Center, yes. We hear from the kids that participate. This is really even more meaningful because it's so individualized and they get to be recognized with peers across the valley that they really enjoy this event. Next slide. And so not to leave out our elementary schools, I know you got to see about Millview's event in the Madera Minutes, but our elementary classrooms have been focusing on recognizing African Americans all year long. You can see it wasn't just in February. We had events starting in October where they had lessons, and this year with the support of elementary CNI and categoricals, we've provided each elementary classroom, I want you to hear this, each elementary classroom in Madera Unified over 60 multicultural books. So the teachers have library books in their classroom connected to culture that they can celebrate all year long and teach their kids about outstanding African American achievement. Next slide. And finally, I have some special thank yous. So I'd like to bring up Mrs. Farrah Williams, the Kobe Diversity Club advisor from Thomas Jefferson, and a couple of her kids.
Thank you so much, Ms. Durian, for that beautiful presentation. I just wanted to say thank you to the board. It truly means a lot to not only me because I am African American, but also to the students. This year has been a trying year, I'm not gonna lie. And I am so proud of this district. I really am. I'm so proud of these kids. I mean, it's past my nighttime and they're still here. And it just shows you the power of relationship. It shows you the hard work and the dedication of teaching a child and seeing that need and teaching them. These kids are all walks of life, all walks of color, and yet they are here to present to you today what they have learned for Black History Month. I'm so proud of this district. Thank you so much to the board and Superintendent Lyle for seeing the future.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Kovalivius, and today I will be talking about the importance of Black History Month. Black History Month is to show the accomplishments of Black Americans in every area throughout our history. I learned that through the Diversity Club that no matter your skin color doesn't change the way that people view you. Black History Month is an opportunity to understand Black histories going beyond stories of racism and slavery to spotlight Black achievement, to make all Americans aware of this struggle for freedom and equal opportunity.
Hello, my name is Maria Luna, and I'm here to talk about the importance of Black History Month. When I started out, I honestly didn't know what I was getting myself into. I honestly didn't know that much when I started out, but after I joined and after a few months, I started to understand what it really means when they do this. I mean, they're like spreading all sorts of stuff throughout school and throughout the environment. I used to think that Black History Month is mostly about bringing everybody together and everybody not everybody feeling accepted during this time.
Thank you.
My name is Jaspreet Brar, and I'm here today to talk about Black history. There is many things that people don't know about their own culture. There is many things that I don't know about my own culture. But this club brought together to show everyone what it means to learn about different cultures. And this month is to represent, to show everyone that there is so much about your culture that is hidden underneath the pages.
Well said.
Hello, my name is Teja Brar, and I am the current president of the Student Diversity Club. Ever since I joined, I have learned a lot about Black history. We've been on so many field trips which have changed my perspective. At first, I barely knew that much about Black history. When I first thought about it, the first thing that came to my mind was slavery. But ever since I joined, I have learned so much about their culture, and I have learned so many things that I have not knew before. And thank you.
My name is Omar Garcia. I would like to thank the board, our superintendent, Mr. Lyle, my principal, Mr. Catalan, at Thomas Jefferson Middle School, and my teacher, Miss Williams, for providing this opportunity to talk to you today about what I learned during the Black History Month. What I'd like to start with, the N-word and the true meaning and understanding of it. The true meaning of the N-word is someone who is stupid or I don't know how to say the word, and I still can't pronounce it. But skip that. I hear people say the N-word and use it often, and 100% sure that they do not know the meaning, the true meaning behind the word. In our society today, it has become almost a normal word for kids and adults to say without any repercussions. I would like to move on to the use of monkey faces. I have seen people make these monkey faces, and I've used them as well, not knowing that it was offensive and racist. Charles Darwin was convinced that African Americans originated from monkeys, so this is where monkey faces were associated with African Americans in an offensive manner. I would like to thank Miss Williams for guiding me through this opportunity and I hope others have the same opportunity to learn more about Black History Month. Thank you.
From the mouth of babes, right? I couldn't have said it any better. So thank you for this opportunity to share just the highlight summary of what happened in our district this year. And if you have any questions, we're here to answer them.
So Kara and Farah, both, thank you for leading. It's not always easy to lead. It takes extra effort, right? That's not usually in your job description to do the extra, but you have some really, really cool kids that you get a chance to be around that put energy right back in your batteries, right? And it's making a difference. And I'm really thankful that they and their parents came out tonight, their families came out tonight to support them, and they had the opportunity to talk about what they're learning. Like, we don't get that all the time here, right? This is pretty unique. We don't usually get this kind of discussion, and we hear directly from them. So thanks to everybody who made the effort to make this happen tonight. We appreciate it a lot.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Director Dorian, for your presentation. Now we move back up to item number 9A1, Educational Services Mid-Year Report on the Local Control Accountability Plan. Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, and our fans out in Zoom land, we haven't really done the mid-year LCAP report in this particular manner. And Ms. Sissel is learning a great deal and becoming somewhat of an LCAP expert. And she can roll her eyes because I don't think she ever wanted to be that, but she has become that is for sure. So this might be a little bit of a a slog of a presentation, might be a little bit long. I know she's worried about that, but she's also quite capable of delivering a barn burner of an LCAP mid-year review. So, Ms. Sissel, now that I've set the bar nice and high, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, Superintendent Lyle. As Superintendent shared, this is the first time there's been a LCAP mid-year review. So there was legislature that was passed recently, and part of that legislature called for all school districts to complete a mid-year review, and it has to be done in the public session, and it has to be done before the month of February is over. So what I'm going to take you through tonight is just a quick introduction into the background, and I am going to do my best to get us through this in a timely manner. As you all know, our LCAP has 68 actions. After meeting with Madera County Office of Ed, they did not support and didn't think it would be a wise idea to address all 68 actions. So CFO Garcia and myself went through and we tried to identify the actions that have the greatest financial distribution of funds assigned to them. And we'll go through and give you kind of a progress update. Again, the purpose of this report is to have you all look at the update on our data that is aligned to the actions, and then obviously to look at the actions, the amount of budget that was allocated, and then how much we've encumbered at this point in the year. So what I want to share with you though is in your packet, you guys have a document that looks like this. This actually has every action on it. So the requirement by the letter of the law is that the board receives an update with every action. So you do have that. What we're going to do tonight, though, is go through again the actions in each goal area that had the largest dollar amount allocated to them. At the conclusion of the report, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding to funds that are allocated to an action, funds that have been encumbered or not encumbered, and even the metrics associated with the actions. So David, we can go ahead and I think we can go past that because I kind of talked us through that. So as a review, our current approved LCAP is our total LCFF funds is $307,312,504. And as of the first interim, we have encumbered $887,259. We also have what are referred to as supplemental and concentration grant funds. Those are the additional funds that are generated in our school district by our unduplicated pupil count. As a reminder for everybody who might be listening, that looks at the percentage of students that we have that qualify as low income, homeless, and English learners. Next slide, please. So there's two components to this report. That is that we're supposed to look at our metrics. We're supposed to look at the metrics that are identified under each of the goal areas. If you remember back to the entire document, under each goal, there's a goal name, a goal description, and then the metrics that we're going to utilize to evaluate the actions within that goal. So for tonight, when we look at the LCAP metrics, at this point in the school year, some of the metric outcomes are still unknown, some are in progress, and then some we can give you a pretty solid update on. The metrics for each LCAP goal will be shared in the following slides. So with the metrics, we know some will be unknown, in progress, and then some will know. When we look at the actual expenditures and the implementation, it will be, we'll say they're either not started, the actions are either in progress, or they've been completed, which you can imagine at the mid-year report, we're going to see, if any, very few that would be completed. Most all of them are going to be in progress. So let's start with goal number 1. So as a reminder, goal number 1 is to provide early supports for children and their families before beginning school. So let's start, David, with the next slide that's going to look at our high leverage metrics. So the metrics that we identified that align to the actions we're looking at tonight is our NWEA mathematics scores for first and second grade, our student survey results, which again, this is going to be looking at school belonging, school climate, and school engagement. And then we have our DLAC, ELAC, PAC, and school site council participation. So there are other metrics in the LCAP document, but these are the metrics that most closely aligned to the priority actions that I'm going to take you through. So looking at our NWEA mathematics for first and second grade, as you know, we're wrapping up cycle number 3 on this LCAP. So our desired metrics at the conclusion of this school year for mathematics would be that all students, all of our students have score 55% higher high average on the spring 2023-2024 administration of the NWEA MAP assessment. We just went through and completed our mid-year assessment, so the winter assessment. And as of our most recent results, our students, all students were at 30, when we looked at all students, 30% of all students scored in the high or high average area of the NWEA. And again, the status with this is in progress because we will give the NWEA assessment again at the end of the school year in May. So we have one more NWEA cycle to go this year. Looking at the student survey results, the mid-year update for 3rd through 5th grade shows that the school safety results were 68%, school belonging 73%, school climate 69%, and school engagement 65%. Again, this is another report that is in progress. And same with DLAC, ELAC, PAC, and school site council attendance. So what we do is we track, we keep a document that has participation of all the school sites being represented at DLAC, all the school sites represented at PAC, all of the school sites are holding their school site ELAC meetings, and all of our schools are holding their school site council meetings. And so that is a document that's tracked throughout the year. And again, we're in February, we've been tracking it, but we're in progress. That will continue through the month of May. Okay, next slide. So the actions that are in goal 1 that we have allocated the largest dollar amount, starting with action number 5, is to maintain full day instructional minutes for kindergarten students. So we budget a little over $4 million, and in our first interim, we've already encumbered $4.5 million, and this is in progress. Again, we're in mid-year, and I think I'm going to tell you they're all in progress, okay? Because hence the idea of a mid-year report. Action 11 is the universal TK expansion. Again, we are in year 2 of universal TK expansion. We budgeted about $2 million and some change, and we've expended $2 million and some change. Action number 1 is partner with community agencies and promote early childhood development classes at our parent resource centers. In this area, we've actually spent more than we had initially allocated. So we had budgeted $1.7 million and some change. We have up to this point encumbered $1.8 million. Next slide. When you look at The next action is action number 3, which is recruit and retain highly qualified early childhood education teachers. This has been a really important focus for us. The requirements to teach TK became a little more stringent with the expansion of TK. And then with our preschool taking earlier age children, really trying to recruit and retain highly qualified early childhood education teachers is a challenge, and one that we are working on constantly to ensure that our classrooms are all fully staffed. And we budgeted 1.2 million and we've expended about 1.1 million. That's obviously still in progress. And then the last action to look at here in goal area number 1 is to identify and integrate resources and services from the community to strengthen school programs, family practices, and student learning development. We had budgeted 790,000, and we've, as of the first interim, we have, I keep saying expended, it's encumbered, isn't it, Aurelis? Sorry, encumbered about 700 and little under $750,000. Of course, you can ask me a question.
Okay, on the recruit and retain highly qualified early childhood teachers. What is that money? Is that teachers that you've hired, or what is that? How's that money spent?
Yeah, this is in teacher salaries, correct? Yes. I'm gonna, if you have questions regarding budget, I might ask Aurelis to come up and help me with that. But yes, that's going to be in teacher salaries. Correct? Okay. Next is looking at action 10, which is still under goal 1. Oh, nope, we're skipping that. Sorry. Any other questions? So those are the actions that we highlighted in goal 1. Trustees, you have all of the goals, all of the actions under goal 1. Is there any that we didn't call out that you'd like to ask a question regarding? Okay, I'm going to take silence as golden.
Any questions?
I have a
trustees?
question. Yes, I do. Just so I understand the chart that you put us in our packet. So it's just that column where it says contributing to increased or improved services. Can you kind of elaborate what the yes and the no means, just so I understand? I think I know, but I might not be understanding correctly.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the presentation, when I shared about the supplemental and concentration funds, those are the funds that are generated by our unduplicated pupil count. So when we allocate funds and we utilize what we would refer to as supplemental and concentration funds, that falls under an increased or for us, they're all increased and improved services. So if it shows a yes there, that means that in our LCAP, when you look through the metrics and when you look through the justification of each action, we have to look at the effectiveness of that action and how it's improving or increasing services for English learners, low income, or foster youth. So if there's a no in that column, it means that we're using like the LCFF base grant. It could also mean that we're using state or federal funds. It could be expanded learning funds. Because our LCAP has all of our dollars budgeted in it, if it says no, it could be from any other number of sources. But in that column, if it says yes, it means that we're utilizing supplemental and concentration grant funds to improve or increase services for our unduplicated pupils. Absolutely.
It's important to also remember that the concentration fund or supplemental funds come, they don't count twice, right, Aurelis? And the vast majority of these funds are generated by students of low socioeconomic status.
It's it's referred to as low income.
Low income.
So 90, they're only counted once. Our largest bucket in Madera Unified is low income, which 90.9%, so right under 91% of our students qualify as low income. So when the supplemental and concentration grant funds are calculated, we get an additional funding factor, which provides additional funds. And it starts by looking at the 91% that are low income. And then after that, it will look at, okay, English learners who haven't already been calculated into low income, and then it'll look at homeless who haven't already been calculated into English learner and low income.
So one of the things to remember, this has been a real challenge for us over the last several years. We've talked about this, I think, pretty much every year since the LCFF has come out, and it's been kind of hard for us to wrap our heads around because the concentration funds that we receive really only come from a very tiny sliver of students in the whole pie of the student body. It's a very, very small group, but the supplemental funds that we get are the funds generated by low income are the vast majority of them, right? So.
Okay. May I move on to goal 2? Okay. Is that a yes? Okay. Goal 2 is demonstrate equity before equality, providing resources based on student needs. So again, I can tell you that our goal 2, if we were going through the LCAP, has 27 individual actions. So this is by far our largest area within our LCAP. It has the largest number of individual actions. What I will take you through today is, again, the identified actions with the greatest number of dollars allocated to them, but this is going to be the sort of the largest section. Looking at the metrics that we're looking at suspension rate, expulsion rate, and then school safety and school connectedness. These are going to all be indicators that come through our Panorama survey in terms of the school safety and connectedness. Suspension rate comes through the California dashboard. That's one of the indicators that the state evaluates us on as a district, and then down to a school level as well as student groups. And then expulsion rate is something that we obviously calculate internally and is also reported to the state. So next slide. So let's start at the big one. This is by far the largest allocation of funds in the LCAP. So as a district, we've allocated 34 million and some change to support our services for special education students. So we've currently encumbered 32.7 million. And so I'm not mistaken, this is by far the largest single allocation in the LCAP. Okay, so all teachers, okay. As far as programs though, this is by far the largest allocation, single action allocation of dollars when you look at a single program. And this is again to support and supplement our special education program and our special education students. The next action is the action 13, which is increasing instructional and planning time for teachers. So many of you have heard lots of conversation and have heard lots of feedback on the work that we did when we added the elementary enrichment and elective classes into our schedules every day. So what this was the opportunity to create the additional minutes that our elementary teachers are provided weekly, which is anywhere from 250 to 300 additional minutes where the students are deployed out to elementary electives and teachers have non-instructional time to engage in instructional planning and collaboration. And that is about $8 million is budgeted. And again, 7.8 million is what has been encumbered. Next is providing transportation services at no cost to all students meeting the eligibility requirements. As you all know, providing transportation is not a requirement of the district, but we invest a pretty significant amount of money to ensure that we provide bus transportation to our students that qualify. And we have actually spent or currently encumbered a little over what was originally budgeted. So we had originally budgeted 7.1 million. We have encumbered currently about 8.3 million. Next is relevant curriculum instruction that taps into each individual student's prior knowledge, experiences, and backgrounds. So this is going to be all of our curriculum, training, textbooks, extra time for teachers that are working on course development. That has a pretty wide swipe of not actions, activities that fall under that action. But that's going to be a lot of your secondary curriculum instruction department, your elementary curriculum instruction department, even some of your college and career readiness.
Is graduate profile work in there, like for the days that are added?
Arelis would have to, no, that's not there.
We've added that elsewhere.
Okay. Next is looking at action number 10, which is increasing the number of paraprofessionals to support students. I remember this was a really big commitment from the board. I guess it's been 2 years ago when we started this LCAP cycle. We added paraprofessionals into kindergarten rooms. And then with the expansion of transitional kindergarten, you all know we have to abide by that 12-to-1 ratio, adult to student ratio. So we've had to increase the amount of paraprofessionals that are in our transitional kindergarten rooms. And then this also includes the paraprofessionals that support special education and other special services, or is that not here? This is just our TK and K paraprofessionals? Got it. Action number 8 is the reducing of the class size reduction up into 4th grade to 30-to-1. I don't have all the historical knowledge on that. Sandon can probably take us back to when that became a directive from the board, but that's been part of the expectation from the board is to reduce that class size up into 4th grade for as long as I can.
2018, 19.
For as long as I can recall.
2017, 18.
And you guys all know we can't do it at every school site. I think the board's direction was where it's possible to make sure that you can keep that as low as possible. So we do that annually, but that fluctuates based on number of students that are at each school site in the grade level. But that's about $1.4 million.
What is the average for 4th grade now?
It was.
Oh, really?
It was,
Oh.
yeah. It was 27 or 28.
Yeah, I don't know that off the top of my head.
The average is somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, all grade.
Yeah, but 4th grade is
He has some
different.
high ones, but a lot of them are, less than.
Yeah, if you were to take a class size average of every class in the district, our class size ratio gets down lower. But as some of us in the room know, and you guys may know, when you're looking at 9th grade algebra classes at the high school where every 9th graders or math 1, every 9th grade student almost has to take math 1, you're going to have class sizes there that are going to be 35, 36, up to 38. Some of the more specialized courses that, if you're looking at a shop class, those are capped for safety reasons.
There's a variety of.
There's a
factors.
variety of factors in how that. What's that? It is, but Trustee Seibert asked me about all classes, so I was trying. Yeah. Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know
I'm
the.
looking at them right now. 4th grade is 28.88 is the district class size average in 4th grade.
Fifth grade is 30.6, sixth grade is 31.3.
President Salazar, yes? Okay. Action 11 is looking at the full implementation of the Madera Believes in Me, which again, that's our emergent multilingual students English learner plan that's been adopted. This is got 1.1 million allocated, and up to this point, we've only encumbered about half. I can tell you that part of this is because we have some other grants that we're using to support the implementation. And so I would assume that that has to do with our educator effectiveness grant money that we're utilizing and some of our other sources that are more restricted funds. And so as we allocate dollars, we allocate and try to encumber the most restricted monies first. The next one is also, and this was brand new. This was one of our brand new actions. Oh no, this one's not, I'm fibbing. But this is around supporting emergent multilingual English learner students and obtaining English language proficiency and mastery of the core standards. So again, this is going to be a lot of the work that we're doing focused on designated and integrated ELD in our high school, middle school, and down into our elementary school. We've had a really concentrated focus on that. So that's going to be looking at some of our ELD lead site coaches, looking at our ELD district academic coaches, and a lot of the support staff, as well as the training that has gone into really focus on our English learners in this district. 18 is implement and maintain the CalSafe program. Again, this one goes back historically. CalSafe was for quite a while a state-funded program. When the state funding went away, as a board, you all made the commitment and felt like it was important to keep those programs maintained. So we still operate out of LCFF funds 2 CalSafe programs, 3 CalSafe programs: Furman, Madera High School, Madera South. Okay. And then under number 9 is maintain. Is it only 2?
It's only 2. The Mount Vista one is closed. So it's the one that Furman and Madera South use together, and
Madera High School.
Madera High School.
Okay. Maintain and expand interpretation and translation services. So again, in our district, this is the dollars that are allocated to ensure that we are able to translate and also provide interpretation services for the many, many programs and services that are offered across the district. Okay. Next is develop an inclusive and equitable culture. This is going to be funds allocated to support the department that you just saw up here presenting a minute ago. Again, the Culture and Climate Department and the services and programs that they're offering. Number 23 and 26. These were both new last year. So 23 is the newcomer programs and services for students and families. We allocated a little over $500,000 last year. We have already encumbered more than that, and that's a good thing. And I would imagine that that's one that's going to carry forward for sure into our new LCAP, and there'll probably be a larger dollar amount associated there. Just as a note, since we opened school back in January, we have enrolled 55 newcomer students in the district. So that's a pretty significant number when you look at the fact that that means 55 students new to the country have arrived and enrolled since we started back to school in January. And then again, many of you last year probably recall that there was a presentation at the time given by Director Crafton on the migrant education program. And unfortunately, our funding from Merced County, which is who operates our migrant program, had significantly decreased our services, or not our services, they had decreased our budget. And so we did not cut our migrant program. We still have a migrant program. And in fact, Mr. Gonzalez, who I thought he was in here somewhere, he's not here yet, but he took over the role of supporting the migrant ed program. And in Currently, we don't have a program coordinator, and Director Gonzalez is really passionate about that work. He was a migrant student himself, and so he's taking over ensuring that that program is successful, and we're going to work really hard to get that built back up and get that budget built back up. So goal 2 is a biggie. I know I didn't go through all 27. I tried to keep it down to the ones, again, that have the largest dollar amount allocated. But if you have any questions regarding the actions in goal 2, I'll do my best to answer those if I haven't already.
Trustees, do you have any questions for?
I do. Regarding the migrant program, we don't have a coordinator, but it's in the works to replace the coordinator, place a coordinator there, or?
Not at this time. At this time, Director Gonzalez is overseeing the program. We have 2 full-time employees that support the migrant ed students currently. We will be hiring back sort of a teacher on special assignment that will work specifically with those students. And, you know, the hope is eventually that we'll build the program back up. And when that happens, then we will look at expanding that back to a program coordinator position.
So given the lack of the funding from UC Merced, what kind of services are migrant students are not receiving right now, or will not, you know, until you get the funding? What is that was cut off for the service?
We didn't cut any services from students, we cut personnel.
But
Like the program coordinator previously, we didn't replace that position. So, but we have a position, we have a person that's taken on those roles and responsibilities, and Director
Oh, okay.
Gonzalez.
So now no services directly for the students? that were
Actually, we're
cut off.
increasing the services.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Trustees, any further questions?
I have one question. On the Action 7 special education services, how many total student or what percentage of student we have in this program?
Ask me one more time.
Action 7,
Yep.
expanded educational service and special education students. How many total students or what percentage of the students in this program we have?
Mr. Marshall? How many students enrolled in special education? You have the number? 1,743.
And that is what percentage?
Well, that's
10%?
going to be
Slightly under 10%.
slightly under 10% because we have about 20,000 kids.
Thank you.
So
8.8%. 9%. Pretty close.
Any further questions? Okay. Next one.
Good question. This also apply, all these goals also apply to alternative education as well, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, for sure. Okay. All right, LCAP goal number 3. Looking at providing a high-quality education with aligned curriculum and teaching. Superintendent, this is where the graduate profile's at.
Makes perfect sense.
High leverage metrics here that were identified. We're looking at attendance rates and the chronic absenteeism rate. And again, we've just shared the dashboard indicators just came out, which identified our chronic absenteeism rate through the state's metric. That information was just released in January of 2024. So looking at chronic absenteeism, and then looking at our all student attendance rate. Remember, chronic absenteeism just looks at kinder through 8th grade. So that's why there's 2 different metrics. When it looks at all students attendance rate, we're talking about all students TK through 12th grade. When we're talking chronic absenteeism, the state looks at kinder through 8th grade. So there's 2 different numbers of total students looked at there. Okay. Goal 3. starting with the implementation of the board-approved guaranteed and viable curriculum. So this is really all the work that is involved in, again, ensuring that every student that comes to our schools has adequate textbooks, has adequate materials, instructional materials, adequate instructional supplies. That's where much of the support staff that is hired in my department in elementary and secondary, you guys are familiar with our academic coaching model. So our support that gets pushed out to the sites, anything that has to do with ensuring that every student in the district has access to a high quality learning experience and high quality instructional activities, that's going to fall here. So budgeted expenditures, $6 million. What's been encumbered up to this point is right about $5 million. Adopt and implement the graduate profile to ensure all students are college and career ready. Here's the action that superintendent was referring to around graduate profiles. So here you've got all of a lot of the work that comes out of college and career readiness, Director McKenna and her team, as well as at all of our high school sites. We have 1 to 2 teachers that are supporting graduate profile at the school sites. This is going to be where our work with our partner Theron Cosgrave and helping us roll this information out, provide all the training. That all comes through this action right here. And we are full steam ahead. It'll be fully implemented next year, which is really exciting for us. Currently, Action 7 is around develop and implement a 7-period day for middle school. So you know we are completing year 2 of an MOU with our labor partners in the implementation of a 7-period day in middle school. I believe the budgeted amount was 1.7 million. The encumbered amount's been 1.9 million to ensure that we're able to provide the 7-period day for all of our students in middle school. Next is Action 5. This is implementation of assessment and monitoring system. The largest probably portion of this contract is going to be Director Uchima's department, which is our assessment and accountability and school improvement department. Also is going to have under it our work with the NWEA group, which is the group that provides us our MAP assessments and MAP fluency, which would be our district benchmark assessments. Also, the other platforms that we utilize for assessment systems as well. That's all going to be encumbered under that action. Next action is the Madera Learning System, which is being implemented and continuous improvement department oversees that, but that's something that our principals utilize to look at a number of indicators on their progress for their school. Academics is part of it, management is part of it, and school climate and culture is part of it. So it's got 3 areas, and within each area there's different indicators, and the principals look at that, and I don't want to use the word report card, but it's a opportunity for them to see their progress on a number of indicators in those 3 buckets. Number 9 is the implementation of the additional credit recovery sections in 0 and 7th period. This is just for our high schools. That's where we've implemented this. And I feel it kind of compelled to explain to you, we allocated $900,000. Why is that dollar amount significantly lower? One of our challenges has been in being able to staff 0 period and 7th period. So those sections are voluntary sections by our high school teachers, so that is a challenge. And we also have faced some challenges with actually having students voluntarily show up for 0 or 7th period. So as you all know, we were able to enter into an agreement with MUTA for the high schools. Next year, we will actually be working on an MOU for a 7th period day. So you won't see the need for credit recovery on a 0 and 7th period day. We're going to build that now into a student schedule, which we hope to alleviate a number of our concerns around our graduation rate, because when students don't show up for the opportunities, or when we have a hard time getting those sections scheduled and filled, it's a concern. But that's one of the ones where it looks like, wow, we allocated a lot of money and we haven't spent very much. So I just wanted to be clear with the reason why behind that.
Also, action 9, when things don't work well and kids who need credit recovery can't get it because there aren't teachers that are willing to teach at 7th period. That just happens throughout the year periodically because people have real lives that they need to go to. They can't always just stay and work extra. So I do not want in any way to sling mud at those people that aren't able to do it. Some aren't willing. It's just they feel like that's not what they want to do. Some of them coach, some of them do other things. There's a lot of reasons. The reason I bring it up is because that very fact, where we have like an unmovable object meeting an unstoppable force, creates the need for kids to go to charters. If they can't be served here and we have no seats available in alt ed, what are their options then? Just not to graduate, or to go to a charter? So we're hoping to remedy some of the stress that's created around this by creating more options and more opportunities for students to get this credit recovery taken care of during the day, and maintain students that don't need to now go to charters and stay with us all the way through. And hopefully we'll start seeing some turnarounds in some really compelling metrics as a result.
Okay, next is the professional learning and support staff working directly with our newcomer students. And so this year, our multilingual educational programs department, led by Director Ochoa, has been working to develop additional programs and services that are specific for our newcomer students. And we've currently encumbered about $50,000. We are working on some other initiatives right now and actually doing an entirely new adoption of curriculum materials and programs for newcomers. So we're gonna get through that money, but it hasn't quite happened yet. So there is a plan for those funds to be fully expended.
Are newcomer students in the program for just 1 year?
So by the letter of the law, the state of California says a newcomer is a newly arrived student who's been in the country less than 12 months. Our current program model, as of today, is newcomers would be in a self-contained program for 3 periods, and that is for 1 school year. We are currently revising that practice because we recognize that in many cases, students being in the program for just 1 year doesn't always set them up for the greatest level of success when they push out. So again, Director Ochoa and her team are working on a revised model for our newcomer and newly arrived students. But today, yes, they're in for 1 year, but that's going to be changing.
That's good, thank you.
Question on your 7th period day in middle school. Is that a longer day, or is it just shorter periods?
It is not a longer day. The contracted workday for teachers did not change. It did, in some cases, shorten the minutes briefly. It was by 2 minutes, but there was other adjustments that were made in the schedule.
About the K-8s?
Well, K-8s,
No changes.
yeah,
So the K-8s, 7th and 8th grade and the K-8s.
they're still in a self.
Shorter day to begin with.
Well, they follow the elementary bell schedule day. But all days, the school day is the same amount of hours, no matter what they're in. They just have different start and end times. So there's no difference in the school day.
Oh, really? 7th and 8th grade in elementary, same length of a day?
Yeah.
As middle school?
Nothing's been adjusted.
Okay, so they just end earlier.
Well, the elementary school day, you mean like when the bell rings?
Yeah, when school's over, I mean, they got
Yeah,
less.
so our start times and end times are staggered, yes.
According to state law now, yes.
All right.
Yep.
And then on
But
the chronic
instructional minutes.
absenteeism, 21.5%. What's that costing us? I mean, that's a lot of chronic absenteeism. Isn't that costing us a lot of money?
In average daily attendance, it certainly does. That's actually down from last year, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't it like 28% last year, something like that? I think it's come down a bit.
You know,
We
so later on, I mean, not right now, but.
We can work on that for you.
Sure. What that costs us, and then maybe we can do something or, you know.
We can put something in the newsletter that gets you the specificity you're asking for. And there are no shortage of efforts being made on the chronic absenteeism
As I say,
side.
there's significant staff that has been invested in through Assistant Superintendent Marshall's department.
Maybe it would pay to hire somebody to visit those homes.
We do have those
That
staff.
is-
You have
We,
those?
we, we'll put together something for you to give you some basic information that kind of helps wrap your head around it. And you may see some things you want to give us feedback on in that.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Marshall and I will work on that.
May I? Okay. Moving on to goal number 4. This is around recruiting and retaining highly qualified staff. The metrics that are being highlighted this evening is looking at our reclassification rates of our English learners, as well as looking at our students who are progressing towards meeting those growth targets that we have set for each individual student annually. So let's look at our actions. Action number 6. This is around recruit and retain safety and health staff. That is a budgeted expenditure of $15 million, and currently we have encumbered just a little bit over that. We have recruit and retain counselors, PE, and VAPA teachers or arts education staff. That's about $12.7 million, and we have encumbered about $12.4 million. And number 7 is additional support staff based on, and this is where you were looking at, Trustee Seibert, behavioral, social, emotional, academic, and attendance needs by sites to create and sustain emotionally and physically safe learning spaces for all students. So that's where a number of those support staff that you're asking about to, in this case, support chronic absenteeism, that's where those staff are highlighted. So all of these expenditures here that are highlighted on this first page are going to, actually all of them, these are all going to be, this is all dollars assigned to staff. Okay? Yep. Yep. Looking at the next page was a focus on, again, when we added the elementary enrichment and electives, we had to go out and recruit and hire VAPA, additional VAPA teachers, because we added art on in addition to music. We added STEM, and then we also expanded our career technical education offerings in 7th and 8th grade in our middle schools. So we had to go out and hire teachers for elementary and middle school that were more focused to support those areas I just mentioned. Again, budgeted 5.9, estimated actuals or part encumbered at this point is 5.7 million. Again, that's going to be looking all at, that's human capital, that's staffing right there. Number 2 is create a professional development system for the Teacher Mentor Support Program. So you all are familiar with our Teacher Support Mentor Program that is in year 3.
I believe so.
The years kind of run together to me. Year 3? Okay. We're in year 3 with elementary, year 2 with secondary. There we go. Okay. And so ensuring that we have resources available for our mentors to properly be able to provide professional development opportunities for our new teachers. And then lastly is to actually establish and maintain the Teacher Support Mentor Program. So again, that's going to be looking at the 2 coordinators in that position that oversee that program, as well as all of the actual teachers that are supporting our young teachers, which we refer to as TSMs, or Teacher Support and Mentors. So this one is pretty well all going to be looking at staffing, but I am happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Yes, I do have one question. So for goal number 4, right after that summary of LCAP, go for that second page. Not sure if this is a typo or not, but so I'm not sure if we can go back to that page. Right after the summary, is that it right there? Should have brought my glasses on there. There you go. So, so it says there in the blue highlighted section, all students met their better target by spring of 2021-22, and again in the next one over, better target by 23-24. I'm not sure if that's supposed to align with the goal of 80% of students meeting their best growth target.
Are you looking at the third column where it says 29.2% and 27.3%?
Oh, actually, that row, that blue row,
Yes.
going across, so it says better target across on each of those blue sections. I'm wondering if it's supposed to say best growth target instead of.
So if you see the little asterisk on the bottom,
Yes.
it points to, so we do a good, better, best target. So the better target would be all students, would be 70% of students meeting their better target. It does show that by the spring administration, the desired outcome is set. This desired outcome was set prior to the board's goal of 80%. So one of the things about the LCAP is you can't change anything once it's in there. So like when we speak about it, when we work with principals, when we set our goals, it's always going to be that 80% meet the best target. But when we wrote this LCAP, which would have been in 2021, the board had not yet given the direction of the 80% goal for all students meeting their best target. So that's why there's a little asterisk at the bottom saying, because you can't change the metrics. That's one of the things. Once you adopt it in its original, like when we adopt it, this coming up new in June, stays that way for 3 years.
Got it. Thank you for the clarification.
Absolutely.
I have a question. On the same page, on desired outcome for 23-24, reading you have 70%, but yet in the mid-year so far, we're at 29%, 29.9, and so forth to math is at 27, and we were anticipating or desired outcome is 70. So the variance, we're less than half. I know it's in progress. What are we doing to improve that big gap? Because your desired outcome for reading is 70%.
That's what this, the expected outcome is 80%. Like I mentioned, we know that we are aligned to the board's goal of 80%. And where our students actually are as a district, which you're calling out, is in reading 29% and all students in 27%. That is still quite a ways away from 80%. So we are working and addressing that.
That was part of what the teachers worked on yesterday which was a strategic action plan day. The students were not present, but the teachers were. And some of the reports I've gotten from principals was that they feel like our teachers have really started to understand not only the goal, but what they've done so far that's made the biggest difference. And there was a lot of optimism and like a sense of responsibility at several of our elementary schools just yesterday, because they feel like they're starting to figure out how to break through with students. And the teacher leaders are starting to feel like they're getting the support they need from their principals to help the other teachers break through on behalf of the kids. So there's a lot of work to do. There's no doubt about it. It's a very aggressive goal.
Well, and what I would want to say is, if you look at the growth of our students across the district, I know when you read, for example, 29 and 27%, like 27% in math, we're still a long ways away from 80%. But when you look at where we were as a district a year ago on our state assessment, that's almost a 10% growth, which by if we could make a true to life 10% growth as a district in math, that's pretty substantial. It's obvious that we're probably not going to make that 80% target, but we are working diligently towards that. And Superintendent Lyle and I had the opportunity to sit with a couple of our elementary schools that are involved in the Solution Tree project, and where I can tell you we're seeing really, really amazing growth in our students. It's just going to take them.
Significant growth is the term that the California Collaborative
is like in our kinder, first, second, third, and fourth grade classrooms. The math, specifically, the math growth is substantial, but it's gonna take a little while for that to progress through and get up in the grades. But we are making really significant growth in that area, and our math growth is actually outgrowing our English or our reading growth at this point.
Any other questions, trustees? Okay, thank you.
Okay, lastly is LCAP Goal 5. And this is looking at incentives and support to continuously improve performance. The metrics that were identified here was around the rate of teacher vacancies and then the rate of voluntary resignations. And so obviously we would like that number to be low. And so looking at vacancies and looking at resignations is one of the ways in which we would identify success in these actions around ensuring that we keep teachers in their spots and provide opportunities for them to continuously improve. So looking at action 2, under Goal 5, this is the redesigning of the school day to build embedded professional learning opportunities with collaboration within the school sites. So again, this is that non-instructional time that our teachers are gaining, and they've had it in elementary school now for 3 years. When we added the 7-period day in middle school, we created a kind of a period in the day that is specific for teacher collaboration, and that will follow suit in our high schools next year. So we'll have all teachers across the district will be getting a minimum of 250 minutes a week for planning and collaboration. Under Action 6, that is the initiative that's been in place for quite some time, and that's the hiring and keeping on staff permanent substitute teachers. So all of our schools have access to 1 and sometimes more permanent substitute teachers. And then action number 3 is provide professional learning in order for individuals to progress and enter the career ladder. So we are in the early stages of the career ladder development, and we're doing that in collaboration with our union partners and still working on that, but really trying to create opportunities for teachers in our district to grow as professionals. Those are the actions I highlighted in Goal 5. So if there's anything that I can answer around Goal 5, I would be happy to do that.
Any questions, trustees?
I have a question. You mentioned before that the template or the new LCAP is going to be different than what you're using now. You said it's going to change and then it's for 3 years. Is there going to be a time that you can revise the LCAP yearly or based on what is working and what's not working? Or is that something pretty much set on stone?
So the LCAP template is not changing. The LCAP template is staying the same. So as we write the new LCAP, but what changes is the goals and actions can be revised. Once you approve it, you cannot remove anything and you can't change anything. What you can do in your analysis is talk about what's working and not working, and then you can make amendments or add new actions to. In fact, the state now expects us to do that. So in the previous, or in our current version of the LCAP, once it was in there, we could just, if it wasn't working, we could just allocate $0 to it and move on. The state's not going to allow that any longer. They're going to expect us to explain why an action that we wrote in is not effective, and then we're going to have to address that and then make a revision to that action.
Ms. Sissel, just for clarification though, I think, so this particular version of the LCAP and its template is not the one that we will see for the upcoming school year. Isn't there a revision?
No, the template is not changing.
So it's the exact same template.
So the template itself, when you guys see the LCAP, is going to it's going to have the parent overview, it's going to have the summary, it's going to have the educational partner engagement, then it's going to have all of the goals with the actions, the analysis, and then the tables.
And I guess what I'm getting at is.
But it'll be new goals and new actions.
That's what I'm getting at.
I thought I said that.
It'll be new goals and new actions going
Yeah.
into the next. And so some of this work will certainly carry over. It will need to, but we're also working really hard on we're trying really diligently to take the board's feedback on some really important items and make sure that we list them. We've been calling them strategic initiatives. I've shared those with you all back in the fall, but we're revising some of that language so that it's cleaner. And that's, I think,
what I'm going to talk about. So any questions on, everybody's good on the update on the goals? If we are, then what I would love to share with you is just a minute on the process now. So Trustee Dybert kind of kicked that off for us and asking what the steps for the new LCAP. So as a reminder, LCAP cycle is 3 years. We're closing a 3-year cycle, opening a new. Again, the template itself is not changing, which was actually very nice, but we will have revised or new goals and revised and new actions when you see the new LCAP. Once you adopt it, is adopted again for a 3-year cycle, but it is, some of you have been through this process a number of times, it is adopted annually. So you will see annually, we will get feedback from engaged stakeholder groups annually. But right now where we are and what Superintendent was referring to is the first bullet point. So starting in November, we convened a strategic planning team. And the purpose of that team, it's made up of parent members. We have our PAC and DLAC representatives on there. We have student representatives on there. We have district administrators. We have site administrators, and we have some support staff. We have our union and labor partners all represented there, and then multiple classified management and certificated management, all as part of this team. And we've been meeting monthly. And the first step in this process was to look at the LCAP that exists currently and start basically doing a crosswalk and looking at what needs to stay in the LCAP as is, or what needs to be revised and move forward into the LCAP. So that's the process. We met in November, we met in December, January, February, and we will meet again in March. And hopefully by March, we'll be able to take all the feedback. We have a meeting planned in April where it'll kind of be a culmination, because by April, I should have, which is listed up there, I should have all my feedback from our Parent Advisory Committee, known as the PAC. I should have all the feedback from our District English Language Advisory Committee, which is DLAC. Each of our principals is hosting their own school community LCAP feedback meeting. Those should all be done. I will be working with our high school activities directors and our ASB presidents who currently sit as our PAC representatives. We're going to be doing student feedback sessions to get feedback from our students. And then we already have the link live on the district website, and we're pushing it out at all of the meetings. Principals will be pushing it out, which is a link that anybody can go on and provide feedback to the district. And we'll get all that together by the end of April. We still have some meetings that we need to convene with our labor partners as well as the SELPA. And then probably come about May 1st, I'll be locked in my office and my team and I will be authoring the LCAP. So we'll be very busy writing and authoring the document, taking all of the information. And there's a lot of narrative, you guys know, that goes into this that'll write. Aurelis will work very closely with me. She's a godsend on the dollars part of it and all of the tables and the money that's allocated. And then you will see me again at the first meeting in June and the second meeting in June for a first read and second read and approval of our LCAP come June. It'll be here before we know it. I really apologize for the length of this. I did try as hard as I could to think through how to make it shorter. The problem is we have 68 actions in our LCAP to start with. And so by the letter of the law, you're supposed to get this and get a response on every action. So you do have that, but it's already been long enough. And I apologize if I had taken us through every
Thank Bob today
action.
for being an overachiever.
Okay, trustees, do you have any further questions? Any further questions, trustees?
So you said we have 68 actions. So is that what we have to maintain, or is that something we just
No.
went because of the feedback from your stakeholders?
Yeah, we are absolutely trying to minimize the number of goals with really high quality descriptions and high quality actions. It would be, in a perfect world, we would probably be looking at no more than 7 actions in each goal area. It's possible we'll end up with some of those that might have a few more, but I can tell you we won't have a goal that has 26 actions in it. Yeah. So ideally, and the recommendation from Madera County Superintendent of Schools is they would say 5 to 7 is the recommendation. We will do our best, but like I said, in some of our goal areas that are a little more significant, we might end up with a few more actions than that. But I so solemnly swear not to bring you back an LCAP with 68 actions.
Okay. Thank you, Associate Superintendent.
Thank you so much.
Presentation. Okay, now moving on to union time. At this time, I invite, moving on to item number 9C, union time. At this time, I invite presidents of the unions to address the board. Mr. Holder?
Board President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, board members, Superintendent Lyle. Just going to be brief here because we've had quite a long evening. Interesting topics. Just a reminder that the 29th is the last date to RSVP for next week's March 5th school board dinner. Right now, it's my understanding that Board President Salazar is attending, Member Fleek, Member Ahmad, and also Member Dibert. Mendoza, you're going to attend also? Okay, if you could, I'll put that down then. And you also had to make your selection of what dinner entree you wanted. And I will get that in. If anybody else is, last couple, if you're able to attend, 29th is the RSVP cutoff. I know Mr. Seibert's gone in the past to a couple of these dinners. So that was it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Holder. Superintendent Stein. Superintendent Lyle.
President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, the AASA National Conference on Education was in San Diego on February 15th through 17th. And NCE's Janice Case and Santa Ana's Superintendent Jerry Almendarez and I presented to approximately 120 superintendents from around the nation on our different approaches to amplifying student voice. The role of these students in the role of students in district improvement efforts cannot be understated or underestimated, as we have experienced so often here in Madera. And I want to thank the trustees and the executive cabinet for always desiring student voice and supporting my absence on Thursday and Friday 2 weeks ago. I learned a great deal about developing the capacity of our leaders to grow other future leaders and the many ways in which artificial intelligence will likely impact our schools. My brain's on fire, so thank you, I think. And lastly, Madera Unified is excited to announce the upcoming Career Pathway Fair, a pivotal event for over 1,500 sixth grade students in our district. This fair marks the culmination of a 24-week intensive study on career exploration across various industries and career pathways offered by the district's 3 comprehensive high schools. At this event, each of the 25 high school CTE pathways will be showcased by dedicated instructors and student leaders who have immersed themselves in these pathways for 3 to 4 years of high school. The fair will feature industry partners who actively support teachers and students and who often offer jobs to our graduates. So Thursday, February 29th, from 9 a.m. to 1:45 p.m. at Hatfield Hall, the Madera Fairgrounds, you can find our Career Pathway Fair. So thanks to all the leaders in CTE and our school sites and all the teacher leaders who put this on to inspire our sixth graders. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Item number 11, consent agenda. Ms. Elizondo?
Items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and are acted on by the Board of Trustees in one motion. There is no discussion of these items prior to the board vote unless a member of the board or staff requests specific items be considered and discussed separately and or removed from the consent agenda prior to the adoption of the agenda. It is understood that the administration recommends approval on all consent items. Each item on the consent agenda approved by the Board of Trustees shall be deemed to have been considered in full and adopted as recommended.
I now open the consent agenda for public comment. Ms. Elizondo?
If you wish to address the board on an item included in the consent agenda, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you're joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. President Salazar, we do not have any members of the public who wish to address the board at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Seeing no one come forward, I close public comment. Before we entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, there is one item that we are removing from the consent agenda. It is going to be item number 11B8. And that is for further discussion. And that's
I think we amended that one at the beginning of at the adoption of the agenda.
No, we didn't state it, and we didn't state it for the record.
Go back and take a quick look. I believe we did.
We made a change on the language, I believe, and we
The
gave
language,
the
but
correction on
we
there.
didn't remove this item.
We weren't going to, we were,
It's in the agenda, so we have to state it that we were moving it because it's in the agenda.
we amended the language that was concerning of the trustees, so the item did stay on the consent agenda.
Okay, I thought we were removing it completely for further discussion.
And then the other also, 11H3 was just a typo
Correct.
to make the correction.
Yeah, that was, I'm not talking about that. I'm
Yeah.
talking about 11B8.
We did change some language, and maybe the board would like to look at that before you vote, so you can see what the change in that language was. There was concern on the language that there was specificity about the property that we were considering for a future ELOP site.
Mhm.
We took out the specificity of the geographic location to just talk about an ELOP facility. We took out the word athletics to broaden the scope so that the board wasn't locked into that concept. It could have a more robust discussion. And that was at the time, from what I understand,
Approval of the agenda.
the challenge that was brought forward by at least one of the trustees. I think it may have been shared by others, but if the language was omitted, there was a sense of confidence that the board wasn't boxed in.
Okay, thank you. So now okay, thank you. I now entertain a motion to prepare to approve the consent agenda. State your name when making the motion and when you second the motion.
Trustee Diber, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do I have a second?
Trustee
I'll second it.
It has been moved by Trustee Dybert and second by Trustee Seibert to approve the consent agenda. There are 6 resolutions in this consent agenda. Ms. Elizondo, please pull the board for the record.
Trustee Garza, I believe she stepped out or she's. Okay. Trustee Llanos,
Yes.
Trustee Ahmad,
Yes.
Trustee Cortez,
Yes.
Trustee Dybert,
Yes.
Trustee Fleek,
Yes.
Trustee Seibert,
Yes.
Clerk Mendoza,
Yes.
and President Salazar.
Yes.
President Salazar accounted 8 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and 1 absent if we count Trustee Garza, student trustee, and 1 of the 8 votes was preferential.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity to thank and acknowledge the following retirees for their service not only to Madera Unified, but also for their service and commitment to Madera community. Kimberly Tornson, teacher at Torres High School, will retire on June 14, 2024, after 10 years of service. Tammy Britton, teacher at Madera South High School, will retire on July 2nd, 2024, after 34 years of service. Superintendent Lyle, do you have any other administrative announcements?
I do have one this evening, President Salazar. Thank you. I'd like to bring forward to the board I think a really important, well, we know we have a really important role at the trustees will recall for our Director of Secondary Curriculum Instruction and Assessment. That's been vacant for almost a full year since the departure of Ms. Selma Gonzalez. You'll remember that Selma did a really nice job and really tried to build the capacity of the team, which has performed quite well in absence of a director because of the hard work of coordinator Lorenzo and Associate Superintendent Sissel. They've done a really nice job, but I know they're excited to have somebody that has the curricular background and the school site administration background of our final recommended candidate that you have just approved tonight. The board has met Ms. Tina Teneinhaus at least one time before, but they're going to have a chance to meet her again as she moves forward into this new role. And I know Ms. Sissel just made a massive sigh of relief, which she kept nice and quiet, because this is a role that she so desperately needs for the future of our guaranteed and viable curriculum in secondary and the graduate profile. So Ms. Teneinhaus, if you would, welcome aboard as our new secondary director.
Thank you all so much. Good evening, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, the trustees, and Superintendent Lyle. Thank you for this opportunity to continue serving the students and the Madera Unified School District. It's been a privilege this year to serve as the principal of Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, and it's extremely difficult to leave my Jaguar family. The staff at MLK is amazing, and it has been an honor to work with people who are clearly student champions. However, my passion for curriculum and instruction and my experiences over the last 23 years in education have led me to this role for the Secondary Director of Curriculum and Instruction. Throughout my career, I've worked diligently to provide all students with the absolute best possible education and to help open the future for whatever dreams they have. Excuse me. I am so excited to continue this work here at a district level in Madera Unified, where I can work collaboratively with the department, the other district staff, the site administration, and teachers to be a champion for all students. I also want to take a moment to thank my family, who without their unending support, I could not continue to do this work. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here this evening. My husband is home. They're probably home now, but they were at a cheer event for my daughter, who is a sophomore in high school. My oldest daughter, Ella, is at UC San Diego, finishing her teaching credential. I mean, she's finishing her bachelor's degree to get her teaching credential, and I will certainly try my best to convince her to come here to Madera Unified if you would have her. And my son is a freshman at Fresno City College. So they are the backbone of what I can do in education, and I really appreciate all their support and all of your support as I continue in my work here in Madera Unified. So thank you so much.
Welcome aboard, Tina.
Thank you. Thank you.
So often it's the case, right, that the daughter goes off to UC such and such, and the son goes to City College such and such. I don't understand what's wrong with us boys, but you and your team will be addressing that for Madera Unified because it's a thing. Fix it, will you? Get right on that. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. New business, 12A1, Educational Services, approve comprehensive support and improvement plan for Ripperton Community Day School. Superintendent Lyle.
So President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, and members of the board, we have here for this item, Mr. Lalo Lopez, the Area Assistant Superintendent of the Blue Pyramid, and a school that he's really proud of because of the progress it's made so far this year. The principal for Ripperton Community Day School, he likes to say the Ripperton as if there's another one. There isn't another one, James. It's the only one. So Mr. Jackson, Mr. Lopez, the floor is yours.
Well, buenas noches. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you, President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, members of the board, Superintendent Lyle. So it has been a process where we had the support of the entire team here in the district. There is love in the heart of all of us for Ripperton, for the population that we serve there. Associate Superintendent Ceso, Director Gonzalez, Assistant Superintendent Marshall, they have provided significant support for not only this process, but just the daily services that we provide the students there at Ripperton. Can we go to the next slide, please? And the next one. So the 2015 federal legislation, specifically the Every Student Success Act, requires state educational agencies to determine school eligibility for comprehensive support and improvement, particularly the schools that are getting Title I funding. And for California, we have designated the California dashboard as the avenue for us to identify which schools will receive that additional support. So in 2023 in January, we were notified that Ripperton was eligible for additional support. At the time, we were aware that there was going to be a change in leadership at Ripperton, and there was flexibility there for us to bring the new leader at Ripperton to engage the staff and develop a product that had input from the staff and that will be implemented with fidelity and support for the entire team. So we were very fortunate to have Principal, this is terrible, we just lost the name, Mr. Jackson here to take over at Ripperton, and incredible the work that he has done so far. So I'll let him know. I'll let him go and go over the process that he engaged his staff in determining what specific actions they are going to implement at Ripperton to meet the needs of students there. Mr. Jackson.
Good evening, everyone. President Salazar, Clerk Mendoza, esteemed members of the board, Superintendent Lau, thank you guys for having us today. And let me just say, I cannot do this work without all the support that I've received so far from my staff, from the district overall. You guys are giving our babies a hug and making them really feel the love. You can see a change when you step on our campus nowadays. Next slide, please. So we enter CSI under two sets of circumstances. The first one is low graduation rate, and then the second one is low performance. For us, we are a low performing school, and we entered in January 2023 under suspension. Next slide, please. As you can see here, our suspension rate for 2023 was very high. The percentage was 64%, I believe. And the year before that, we were at 43%. Next slide, please. And this is just an illustration to show in 21-22, we had 79 students. In 22-23, we had 108 students. And this year, we're currently at 90 students. As you see, the state average is about 3.5%. As a district, we're about 4.7%. And Ripperton, we are currently at 29%. So you see a significant decrease so far. And again, that's more to the work that is being done. During Institute Day, for those that were there, Superintendent Lau, he challenged us leaders, us site leaders, to have our staff take ownership. Not compliance, but just ownership. And what I have to say about my team at Ripperton is that they have taken that charge and taken it personal. Next slide, please. This right here is our team that led the charge to do this particular work. We have certified, we have classified, as well as community educational partners and student representatives. And this was working directly in concert with our area superintendent, Lopez, Director Gonzalez, and Assistant Superintendent Sissel. Next slide, please. We were led by Facilitator Adam Bonilla, and we did 3 fishbone activities to get to the root cause of why our suspension rate was so high. As you guys can see, a lot of work, and each meeting lasted about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Next slide, please. What we learned from the fishbone activity was, with us being the tier 3 school from Madera Unified, we lacked supportive systems. That was the biggest takeaway as far as our suspension rate. We currently have no clubs. We have support staff, but a majority are currently part-time. And then when we looked a deeper dive into the data, we had a lot of incidents happening after support staff had left. So this right here is the allocation of the funds, which we would add a full-time intervention specialist that would help lead the work to put systems in place temporarily to move this work, push this work forward. And then also, I'd like to point out that sitting in on a previous board meeting, I want to say it was I think it was Mr. Siebert who stated about electives, and that really touched me about giving the kids options to be able to want to come to school, to have them engaged, and us being able to buy the prep periods would allow for students to have those type of options to expand on our electives for our students, for that tier 1 support. Next slide, please. These are the current and future steps that we're taking to get out of CSI. In addition to with our partnership with juvenile probation, as well as the YEP youth empowerment programs, they come Monday through Thursday and run groups for our students. Next slide, please. Any questions?
Trustees, do you have any questions for Mr. Jackson?
No, but I like to see the engagement by creating clubs and activities for the students to participate in. That's really good.
What was the root of some of the cause of your analysis? Because it was hard to read the print.
So some of the root causes were safety concerns. And again, lack of support systems. So students feeling connected, having more trusted adults to talk to on campus. What else? The gang activity. We can't hire from that. So those were the main areas of concern.
Thank you. Trustees, any more?
You were aware that one time they had a chess team?
No, I was not.
Yeah, they had great success with that. Kids were involved in that, and they learned to play chess. They go out and compete, and they did really well. Then that teacher, I guess,
Passed away, actually.
Okay.
Did. And then there was also some success with History Day, where they got to represent the entire county in Sacramento, but that teacher also passed away.
But those are the kind of activities that have been really successful out there.
I have a
Thank
question.
you for that suggestion.
On page 44 of the report, and I didn't mention, I will bring this up. On your annual reviews, one of the strategies is to provide teacher release time, extra time, and travel and conference. And it says, due to the limited offerings and staff shortages, teachers did not attend the POC conference and other conferences scheduled. Are you planning on offering that in the upcoming years for the teachers?
I think that's a great question, and actually we started addressing that this year. We have quite a few staff members that have gone to PDs in Monterey, San Francisco, and then local PDs as well. I think probably the situation in the past, and again, this is speculation because it was prior to my tenure, is that we have a highly dysregulated population. And so again, the trusted adults, and so when they see their favorite teacher or administrator not on campus, it creates, as you can imagine, what that day may look like. So it probably wasn't many opportunities. And then also me exploring the opportunities for PDs, for community day schools, were limited as well. We just found one in Monterey that I'll be taking a few staff members in May, and then there's one in Las Vegas in July. So I don't know how you guys feel about that.
In July.
The sacrifices we must make. And so we are relying on our internal coaches. The DACs have been a big help, especially from climate and culture. So they also attribute to our lower number of suspensions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lopez and Mr. Jackson. Thank you very much.
Trustee President Salazar, if I might, I just want to add something, Mr. Jackson, that did not come out, but some of us have had the opportunity to see it. The student voice meetings that have been led by Trustee Garza, who's not here at the moment, but the level of organization and the professionalism and the maturity that the kids bring to those meetings has been really astonishing. I mean, really astonishing. They were always good meetings before. I mean, they were always really good. We always really enjoyed the alt ed student voice meetings, but they are a whole nother level of excellence right now. And I really do hope that, Ms. Santana and the rest of your staff that works hard on this, Mr. Montiel at and Ms. Anguiano, at our other alt-eds. I really hope that you three principals recognize the high-quality support staff I think you do that you have right now and the connections they have with kids, because they're saying some of the most important things that I think have been said in our alt-ed student voice meetings in the last few in a row. They're speaking really from the heart. They're speaking the truth. Their authenticity is really, I mean, you can feel it. It's 100% real, and you can tell that they believe in the staff. And I think I think our board knows enough about alt-ed to know that kids in alt-ed don't tend to really think people believe in them. That's one of the reasons they're there. And what we're seeing right now in all three schools is a real turnaround in that respect. And I think, as you said, ownership is a big part of it. But I want to commend you for really supporting that spirit amongst the kids and for really pushing on that. And I think they're going to give you great feedback on what will uplift, right? Their spirits and the electives they might want and those kinds of things. I think that student voice is really a powerful key for Ripperton itself. And I just want the board to hear from me, and I know Ms. Soto and I, Mr. Carrasco, Mr. Lopez, we've all seen it in action. We've seen the change, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but you're one of them too. So thank you.
Thank you for those kind words.
Thank you. I now open this item for public comment. Ms. Elizondo.
If you wish to address the board regarding this item, please step up to the podium please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence. If you are joining remotely and would like to make a public comment, click on the reactions icon located at the bottom of your screen. In the reactions window, click on the raise hand button and wait for your name to be called. Speakers will be allowed to address the board in the order they approach the podium or appear on our screen. President Salazar, we do not have any participants who wish to address the board on this item.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Seeing none come forward, I close public comment. I now entertain a motion and a second to approve item 12A. Please state your name. When you make a motion, you second the motion.
Trustee Ahmad make a motion to approve 12A1 as stated.
Do you have a second?
Trustee Fleek, all second.
Thank you. It has been moved by Trustee Ahmad and second by Trustee Fleek to approve item 12A1. Ms. Elizondo, please pull the board.
Trustee Llanos,
Yes.
Trustee Ahmad,
Yes.
Trustee Cortez,
Yes.
Trustee Dybert,
Yes.
Trustee Fleek,
Yes.
Trustee Seibert,
Yes.
Clerk Mendoza,
Yes.
and President Salazar.
Yes.
President Salazar, I counted 8 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and Trustee Garza left the meeting, so she is absent for this vote. And one of the 8 votes is preferential.
Thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Item number 13, announcements. Superintendent Lau, do you have any announcements for the board?
I'll try to be quick. Madera County School Board Association is holding its quarterly meeting at Torres High School tomorrow evening. The RSVPs have been made and the trustees attending have already confirmed their attendance, so thank you. Madera Unified will hold its annual Career Pathway Fair for 6th grade students at Hatfield Hall this Thursday. We talked about that earlier, from roughly 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Please feel free to come by. The Toro football ring ceremony will be held on Thursday at 5:15 p.m. following the JV game in the gym. That'll be really exciting to see. The Cal SSD meeting is scheduled for Friday, March 1st, and President Salazar and Trustee Fleek and I have already confirmed our attendance. The Budget and Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, March 4th. The meeting will be held via Zoom, and Trustee Dybert and Seibert have already confirmed their attendance. The school board dinner event will take place on Tuesday, March 5th at the Painted Table Event Center in Fresno. As of now, we have 4 trustees that plan to attend. If you would like to go, Maria will help you RSVP and make arrangements. There will be a Parent Advisory Committee meeting on Wednesday, March 6th. This meeting will take place at the Prices Building, and we already have confirmations of our 3 board member advisory representatives. And lastly, Monday, March 11th is a collaboration team day. So there will be no classes for students. This is when our teacher leaders will take back what they discussed with their principals on Monday to the whole team to make the last and final push for CASP at the end of the school year for our testing. Thank you.
Sorry, thank you, Superintendent Lyle. Item number 14A, miscellaneous board member committee and information reports. Trustees, at this opportunity for you to provide the board updates and reports for committee meetings and events you have attended. Trustee Ahmad.
Yes, on February 15, I attended District Safety Committee meeting via Zoom where we had update on after-school programs, school safety teams, and also we have update crosswalk safety for Torres High School, Madera High School, and North Campus. And also we have update on emergency response, how the emergency response team will respond in case of emergency. Also, I attended on February 23rd and 24th, both boys and girls sectional soccer championship games where girls won 3-0 and boys won 1-0. Congratulations to both teams and the coaches on winning their Valley Championship. Your hard work and dedication had paid off, and we are incredibly proud of your achievement. Way to go, Team Toro. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Cortez.
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Trustee Dybert.
Yes, sorry, I couldn't find all my notes. On February 20th, I attended Madera South High School School Site Council meeting, and Mr. Rossetti and Mr. Mena provided information on the programs, the band, and the arts program. Also, I attended on February 21st, the Wellness Committee meeting. I was happy to see the partners. They always come and attend those meetings. They're well attended by our community partners. On yesterday, I attended the DLAC meeting. Staff went over, they reviewed the dashboard, the state dashboard data, and they also did the exercise of the input on the new LCAP goals and actions. The only thing I want to say is on the school site council meetings and on the wellness committee meeting, I see a lot of staff, not too many parents attending. So I would like to see more parent participation. I don't know if it's the hours that attended, they're held at 4 o'clock. I was hoping that on the wellness committee, maybe because it was a Zoom meeting, that there will be more parent participation, but there wasn't that many. So I was kind of sad by that. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Dybert. Trustee Fleek.
I'm sorry. My brain went. Okay, at our safety meeting, we discussed what was being done to help students get to and from school safely. There are now safety officers crossing students, and that's a really big help, not only for the students, but the flow of traffic. Because I live across the street from the high school, and you would see one student cross and not get all the way across, and then 2 more students would go out, and then the traffic was just piling up. So it's not only helping our students get across safely, but the flow of traffic. California Interscholastic Federation Central Section Wrestling Championship was held February 17th at Selland Arena. Madera Unified was the host. Things ran so well, all I heard from everyone that I spoke with was positive feedback. Help came from all over our district. Mats from South, the award stands from Matilda Torres, and score and table workers from Madera High. There were many others. There were people from the middle schools and district office, and some knew very little about wrestling, but they learned very quickly. Thanks to all those involved, your hard work was greatly appreciated. We have already heard about the boys and the girls soccer teams from Torres winning the Division 5 Central Section Championship. Both games were very exciting for Torres High School and for our community, because a lot of people were there that, were just to watch the game. Yesterday at Desmond Middle School, each Madera Unified School District school was developing and refining their SAP, which is the Strategic Action Plan for the rest of the school year. And one classroom I went into, it was really neat. The PLC groups were meeting together because the third grade PLC group wanted to talk to the first and second grade teachers about what they needed to work on, because they really start testing in third grade. So it was really encouraging to see how they all work together to improve the education of our students. Then I left there and went to the Rise Youth Conference at Madera High. They had a keynote speaker, team building activities. About 70 students were there, and they were involved and focused. They were very well behaved. They were very appreciative of everything they got. And there were numerous raffle prizes, and a lot of our businesses that donated were very generous. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Fleet. Trustee Seibert?
Yeah, I attended a couple of school site council meetings, Howard and Lavina. And some of the parents there are really interested in redesignation over their students early, because the test is a lot easier. And if you wait till after sixth grade, then it's really, really hard. So they're interested in more help with getting those kids redesignated in English. And also I learned from one of the teachers that, I thought math was like we used to do it. You get algebra and you get geometry. But in eighth grade now, it's all combined. So you learn, makes more sense because you're applying it, the algebra with the geometry and everything. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I think it's a whole lot better concept than what I experienced. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Seibert. Clerk Mendoza?
Yes, thank you, President Salazar. Yeah, I attended the CABE conference, and it's pretty interesting. There was probably over 7,000 in attendance, so it was pretty big, and it was very informative. And I hardly even I don't think I even seen any repeat courses. They were all single item courses. And I went to all the classes throughout the time there, and I typed up about 12 pages of notes, which I forwarded them to you through email, just for info. It's not like you don't have enough to read, but yeah. And it was pretty good. There was some dynamite speakers there, and again, one of the two that I like was Howard Johnson, I think it was, but the other one was Victor Rios, and both of them hit home on the message, like he was actually talking, or they were talking to Madera. So if there is ever a possibility, maybe we can have them possibly present here, maybe to the staff, teachers, overall, if it's possible. So I just want to let you know, if you ever get a chance to hear either one of those, it's good information. It's really good. It might even hit home with you. All right, thank you. That's it.
I attended CABE as well, and I was mostly, the workshops I was looking for was the strategies for our secondary math, the tools and strategies of engagement they were focusing on, and also what I attended one workshop where it had the power in the name, biliteracy skills through a child's name. And it was saying that teachers should learn to pronounce their child's name correctly. Do not criticize the child's name. Names matter. Names are essential. Stop doing damage to a child's name. We need more multilingual teachers. And then I attended the 2023 math framework, and it was saying that math teachers are really language educators. And when we're adopting the math, that we should have the ELD also attend those math when we're creating those curriculums, yes, there's a guidance, but if we, that way they integrate the English into the Spanish, let the student learn the framework in the content in Spanish or whatever language they have, and then integrate the English, and they seem to be having better results when the student's learning the actual content. So that's what I try to attend, and there was a lot of information, you know, and talking about, you know, some of the common obstacles that ELDs have, and then the math teachers as well. But the comment was very informative, very. But one thing that I took back is it's time to roll call, and it's for the English learners. Call them divine, call them brilliant, call them innovative and creative, call them highly intelligent, call them geniuses. They are brilliant students. Do not let them lose their identity when they walk into our campuses, no matter what age they are. And that's all I have to share. Thank you. Oh, sorry, didn't realize.
I would like to share that our Stallion mock trial team has beat Yosemite and is now going to state championships. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Trustee Llanos. And now, for future agenda items, trustees, do you have any items you would like to staff to present at future board meetings? Trustee Ahmad?
Not this time.
No? Okay. Trustee Cortez?
None, thank you.
Trustee Dybert?
No.
Trustee Fleet?
Okay, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I would like to see if we can have our high schools learn the alma mater. And I think Torres doesn't have one, do they? Because that's a real sense of pride. I can still sing you the alma mater. You don't want to hear that, but I can do it.
Thank you, Trustee Fleet. Is that all? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Trustee Seibert?
No, none, thank you.
Craig Mendoza?
No, nothing, thank you.
Okay, it is 10:04 p.m. and I adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for attending the board meeting. Good night and be safe.